It's always a party. What are you talking about, man? It's always a party. Every single day we be hustling. Hey, good evening, everybody. What's going on? Broken Wolf, Check, Daystra, Spectre, Papa Smurf, Moose, Crazy, RSDJ, what's going on? Evil Smurf, Q, Dirgetti, Odysseus, Just the Tip, Star Goddess, what's going on over there in YouTube land? How are you? Yo, 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 yo. Ew, shiz. No, you didn't. Did you really? That's disgusting. How long did it take you? I bet that took you a minute, didn't it? Yeah. You know what? Funny enough, I'll tell you this, shiz. Funny enough, you inspired me to stop doing it. I've been trying to keep up. I've been trying to keep up with it. And I just said, you know what? Shiz ain't doing it. I ain't gonna do it either. I said, nope, I'm done. So I have now, you have saved me multiple clicks. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Man, that was kind of a hot track, right? This is kind of a good track. Hi, oh my gosh, Beck Likes Plants is in the audience. Woo! That was a hot track right there. I kind of liked it. Good evening, everybody. Welcome in. We've got about a minute and a half until the start of the show. And what's going on? I hate Google. Ironically, not watching on Twitch, but rather watching on Google's YouTube platform. What's going on? Appreciate you being here. Yeah, Beck hanging out in the chat. My goodness gracious. Oops. Didn't mean to press that button. Sorry about that. Yeah, sorry about that. I feel like I want to play one more song just because Beck Likes Plants is in the audience. I want to do one more, if I may. Yeah. Yeah. All right, I need to see all the Beck emotes. All the Beck emotes in the chat. Come on now. We're no strangers to love. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. You know the rules, and so do I feel commitments while I'm thinking of. Hey, Mark, what's going on? You wouldn't get this from any other guy. I just want to tell you how I'm feeling. The Klingonese version. You down, never gonna run around and desert you, never gonna make you cry, never gonna say goodbye. I don't see enough Beck emotes in the chat right now. There's not enough Beck Likes Plants emotes in the chat. Come on now, come on, come on, come on. Hey Griffin, what's going on, buddy? Oh, you're green, sorry, let me fix that.
Oh, good.
I'll fix it. I'll fix it for now.
Thank you.
What's going on? There we go. Look at that. Now we got Beck Likes Plants emotes. Look at that. Come on, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Oh, man, you've done the thing where I can't hear the music again.
Do what? I did what?
You've done the thing where I can't hear the music again.
No. Okay, hey, wait. Okay, hang on. Hold on. Hold on, hold on, hold on. I think I can fix it. I can fix it. Where is it? Here it is. Now you got it?
There we go.
There we go. We got it. We got it. Hey, I got his sound fix. All right.
Anyway,
Oh, yeah. Look at all those beautiful Beck Likes Plants Rick rolls in the chat. Appreciate that, everybody. Good evening to you. How are you? Should we open the show just with that right there? I mean, we should play the actual normal show open, but this might have been even better. Just to celebrate the return of Beck Likes Plants into the chat. How are you, Beck? How are you, Beck? What's going on, Beck? You know what? We should have. Here's what we should do. We should invite Beck to the stage so that we can talk.
No, that'll never happen.
No, we should. We should invite Beck to the stage because tonight I am very excited. Today, we actually saw an article released about arenas and the priority.
Positive.
Yes,
I'm full of positive energy.
I got positive energy. I'm super excited about arenas. Arenas are coming back, and more importantly, we got a chance to talk to. What's his name? Phil? Was it Phil? I don't remember. I'm going to have to pull it up. The principal engineer for arenas. Now, Griffin, that excites me. We actually got a direct line to the guy responsible for arenas. All right.
And a very good interview with some very descriptive answers. I liked it.
You know, I was not turned off by those answers. You
were not turned off by what a high praise.
I was not turned off by those answers. All right. I mean, I would always love a little bit more detail. Always. However, he demonstrated an understanding of our pain points. All right.
Yes.
He demonstrated an understanding of our pain points. He demonstrated that they have, in fact, heard some of the issues that have been happening. They have, in fact, heard some of the problems that need to be addressed when it comes to arenas. And I don't know, call me crazy, Griffin, but that particular, it was Luke. What's up, Luke? The STFC.
Who knew that he was a Klingon? I had no idea.
He is a Klingon. He's a very, very Klingon. All right. I mean, he's even got the beard and everything. All right. It just felt like an interview where, like, hey, we get it, right? Like, we hear you, we get it, and that is something that I want to talk a little bit about tonight. Juby says, "Did we start the pod? Where's the music?" I mean, we could. I mean, I thought we were gonna matters. I thought we were gonna start it with the Beck music. All right, do you guys want to play something else? I mean, I'll start with other stuff. I just thought, the Beck music would be better. Is that what you want to know?
I liked it. I liked everything about it. And Beck's here, and it's a happy day on the farm. The only problem is that I am not prepared. I do not have my Welch's Grape Ghost Energy in front of me because I've been busy editing all day. So I'm gonna have to take a break, and I'm gonna have to go get that at some point.
Do you want to roll the show open right now? That way you can do it. John Drill says it wasn't an interview; it was a Q&A written by the PR department. Either way, here's the deal. I hear what you're saying.
To be so critical and hypersensitive of everything?
Well,
it's an interview. He gave answers to questions. He gave solutions to problems.
I agree. Juby says, regardless of who wrote it, it was good that they made the article. And I think you're right, Juby. The underlying reason or the underlying communication that I got from that article, regardless of what it said, is okay. We know this is a big deal to you guys. Right?
Yeah.
We know this is a big deal to you guys, and we're taking it seriously. So I actually, I felt somewhat good about that. Beck says, "Wait, I am the PR department." Yeah,
Perfect.
Beck. It's a transcribed video interview, and that's awesome. I would have Did he record the interview with his Klingon makeup? Because that would have been great. And if that were the case, then it needs to be released anyway.
In my mind, he did. And he said kapla at the end of everything.
Yeah, that's how I'm going to picture it in my head. Q says, "Big question, DJs. Time slot." Okay, so here's the deal. In that particular interview, they did not specifically mention any individual specific changes that they are making. Most of this thing is regarding the technical issues. And let's be fair. The technical issues have been the biggest problem with this since it started, or at least since week 3. Okay.
They are the changes. They did, in fact, identify problems and solutions to those problems by way of how they're changing the back end of the game. So,
In fairness, though, I do believe that there still needs to be some programming changes, right? Like, in
there
fairness,
are.
no. I'm referring to not technical, not engineering. I'm talking about actual program or game design changes, like the 8 hours, maybe moving to 12 or 16 hours. I'm talking about the day of the week floating around a little bit, like incursions. I mean, we still have players, all right? And ask me, community, ask me. Let me rephrase the question. Would you believe me if I told you that there were still players who have not yet been able to engage, not yet
Absolutely.
been able to play in a single combat battle from arenas because of date and time? You know,
Absolutely. They've always occurred on Monday. If you're working a 12-hour shift on Monday, you're never going to play the arenas.
Exactly. So that's what I'm referring to. This is a program or a design perspective of change that I still want to see happen. However, what I am very excited about is that they seem, or at least according to Luke, they seem to have identified some of the underlying technical issues. And more importantly, this is what was somewhat interesting to me. If I come into this particular interview and I'm looking at some of this stuff that they were talking about, how long have we actually kind of been poking them a little bit, kind of teasing them a little bit about, fix your code, right, Jess? Jess, fix your code. All right, that's a shout out to Mod Mom Jess, who, by the way, wrote all the code for this game. All right, fix your code, Jess. But no, seriously, we talk about some of
Be right back.
Okay, you okay? Okay. Okay. Whew, that was startling. Maybe they're talking about a little bit of going back and fixing some yeah, Herbs, that's that's what I was thinking. That was a very sudden I gotta go. All right. Yeah, maybe it was a toot and it just surprised him a little bit, right? Or Silvertap says maybe he needs Ghost Energy drink. Yeah, I don't know. That was a little too abrupt for that. I think he might have pooped himself. All right.
Little Dookie.
He might have pooped himself. I'm just saying. All right. That's what I'm going to go with. Griffin
What's that make the score?
Griffin just put the score. The score is 2-1. Score is 2-1 in favor of me. All right. Yeah. For the record, community, I have never pooped myself live on stream. It's never happened, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Okay? Excellent. Thank you. Is that a bingo square? No, I don't think that's actually a bingo square. That's kind
a
of
whole card.
I literally showed up when you said that. What is even going on?
Griffin pooped himself. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Anyway, listen. I don't even remember. Oh, code. Let's get back to code. Code. All right, I'm gonna read you a couple of things here. All right. And this was somewhat good for me to read. And hopefully we see it. Here's the big thing, right? Like, it's all great that the article was a thing here, but really, really, really big and specifically, I want to see it. They talked about going into the older architecture of the game, all right, which is kind of crazy. All right, because we've been asking for some redesigns of certain pieces of code and certain mechanics and stuff like that. Here's what they write. Arenas concentrate so many players in a single system for intense PvP. Some of our older code, which had been fine under normal conditions, started to lag. Now, the problem with that particular statement is that this isn't the first time it's happened. We've had incursions lag for many years. However, it fits the same kind of symptoms that we've talked about. I have theorized that it's related to impulse. Other players have indicated that they don't necessarily agree with that particular assessment. They don't agree with that particular assessment, just in the simple fact that it could be related to the number of ships, the number of players, et cetera, et cetera. But regardless of whether or not it was identified with incursions or not, this is a first time for anything. I get it, territory, right? But this is a first time that Scopely has ever come out and essentially identified their older code. Now, I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. All right. Maybe I'm reading too much into this, but this is the closest thing to an acknowledgement that Scopely has ever given of, yeah, the code we started the game with might not have been the most exquisite piece of code ever written. Right? I mean,
it's definitely antiquated, or we're moving.
It's dated
beyond it now that we're more of a PvP game instead of a turn-based, clock-based game.
Yeah. So, and now listen, for you gamers out there or you designers out there, I have a question. So he goes into a little bit of detail in this article, which I appreciate, by the way. The tick system. Somebody explain to me what the tick system is. Because this part of the interview escaped me a little bit. I'm not sure if they're referring to the tick system, kind of like what we do see in incursions, where like scores are updated every 60 seconds or something like that. What is a tick system? Can somebody explain this to me?
That's exactly what it is. It's like a running tally of various metrics that all get updated at a specific interval.
So this
points.
Okay, so what they talk about in this, and this is what I'm going to read this for the podcast audience who hasn't seen it yet. Luke, principal engineer for stfc, says, we have found that if one part of our system lags, for example, the tick system that updates everything in real time, it can delay spin-ups of new arenas and matchmaking. We get reports of lag, but that word can mean so many things. Ships, rubber banding, UIs taking forever to load, slow reaction times and decline. It all lumps together as lag, but each issue may come from a different place. That's why it's been tricky. There's been a lot of different parts in play, and it's not one issue, but several, which won't be totally solved in a single big fix. He goes on to talk about some of these root causes and actually discovered, Griffin, that there was a part of their tick system that actually was stalling out. It was actually hanging up the game. So he describes their actions as moving away from relying on this heartbeat and using different mechanics to update the game in real time. Now, I don't know what that means.
Well, as one part of the system takes longer, it creates a latency in this tick system, and everything stops while that one thing that takes longer catches up.
Okay.
Think of it like a packet-based system in networking. If you drop a big packet, it has to resend the packet, and everything slows down until it catches up. That's such a simple, dumb explanation of what's happening, but it's causing the lag, is what he's saying.
So this is something that has been kind of fundamentally theorized. Even Ripper had theorized about this a long time ago, like with ships inventory. Like every time you open up your repair menu, for example, it has to update all the speed ups every time you use a speed up. Things like that. Are we saying...
That's a big one right there. That's impressively large.
It's an impressively large tick system. Are we saying, Griffin, that there was interval-based communications between the client and the server that transmitted our entire game state every X number of seconds?
It certainly can, especially as I've always said, as you're interacting with people from further distances away, trying to get all that information on the same server to occur on that same tick. You attack, I attack, you move, I move, and keeping it all in sync with each other. If your actions are coming in at a delay, then I can slow the whole thing down. So the moral of the story is I don't really need to know how many, in chef's terms, I don't need to know how they're changing the recipe, how much less salt, how much more broth. Don't care. I'm happy that they're changing something out and looking for a different result. And I'm very happy that they're communicating to us that those fundamental programming changes are happening and alerting us to when to expect to see it, which is this coming Monday, and telling us to keep iterating with the game, keep playing, keep engaging, report all bugs specifically and constructively so they know exactly what is working and what is not working. I think that's really nice. It's very cooperative and collaborative, and I really like the vibe of that.
Spectre says that this game is, from a development standpoint, incredibly chatty in terms of its client-server protocol, meaning that there's a lot more data that is transmitted between the client and the server as compared to some other games. And that makes sense. I mean, we've seen that before. You guys have like your yellow and your red connection loading error kind of thing because there has to be kind of that. I have always kind of referred to it as a stream, a data stream. We've seen that in Star Trek before. I've always kind of referred to as our phones having a direct two-way data stream to the servers that kind of keep everything synced, keep everything updated. And essentially, it sounds like Luke is saying that is kind of what we have. I'm curious, we've had banners. They pop pretty much right away when we hit a hostile. Just out of curiosity, and I really wish we had a subject matter expert on this. I am curious, what is the tick rate of this game? Is it once a second? Is it 10 times a second? Is it like frames? Is it FPS? How often was our client trying to sync? And I can see that being a major issue, Griffin. I could see that being a major issue if it's like, hey, okay, we've got hundreds of thousands of players that are trying to sync up 30 times a second. I mean, to me, that sounds like red flag number one, just kind of from the get-go. Maybe that's normal, in the game development world. Maybe that is normal. I mean, you've got other games, Call of Duty, Fortnite, some of these other, games that directly impact or are impacted by people's connection to the internet and the actions that they take in real time. So maybe that's part of it. I am glad to see, and as you say, I don't really understand the recipe, and I don't understand the recipe, but I am kind of glad to see this is the example of the chef coming out to your table. Right.
It is.
You're at a nice restaurant and you're having a meal and, maybe it was great and maybe it wasn't perfect. But either way, like that restaurant manager, that chef came out to say, hey, thanks for trying it out. Is there what can I do better? And that's
our feedback is the equivalent to saying, I love the steak, I love the cream corn, but man, those Brussels sprouts had way too much salt in them. And then they know, okay, so I'm not looking at the whole meal. I'm looking at the Brussels sprouts and how I'm going to make them taste better next time.
Yeah.
That's exactly the sort of feedback that we're looking for. And when you're in the middle of updating code and you've got some stuff running on the old junk and you got some stuff running on the new junk, I've seen this many times in point of sale software to web browsers to everything. When you're trying to transition from old to new, that's when you're at your most vulnerable until you move everything over to the new stuff. And it seems like that's the season that we're in with this game just by how it's been working lately.
Yeah.
So I look forward to them to continue to move forward to transitioning to the new stuff.
And I am pleased to see some of the positive reception in the chat. Retrieving. I love this comment. I'm going to read it because you're typically very critical, especially of technical problems. And I agree that I agree and appreciate that objectivity. Retrieving says, I agree with Griffin. This was a very good piece of communication with some level of tech conversation, but without talking over people's heads. But honestly, this is proving that Scopely has been antiquated, essentially. I'm going to, his definition or his example was running Netflix on a 56K modem. And I'm not going to say that it was, obviously that bad. That's an exaggeration. But you know what? You're knocking on the door there. Luke comes in this article and talks about some of the code that was written 7 years ago. Can you believe that? 8. Some of this code is 8 years old. Do you guys believe that? Like by now, some of this code is 8+ years old. Some of that stuff hasn't been touched in 8 years. So the fact that they're coming out and finally, and we have all kind of screamed and hollered and even poked them a little bit about STFC 2.0, that the game needs a rewrite. Do you guys remember, when Alex would come out here and he would say, listen, the game ultimately needs to be rewritten. Like the code is antiquated. The stuff that they have added to the game isn't compatible with the original code, and moreover, some of the stuff that they're wanting to add to the game, being super ambitious, bold, dare I say, as he would say, some of the stuff that they've wanted to add to the game is either not plausible because of limited tech, limited code, or too difficult to mesh in and be compatible with the existing code base. I think this is a nice thing to see, Griffin, is them actually investing a little bit into the core architecture. This is something that David E. talked to us about a couple of years ago. How many of you guys, I know there was not very many, but let me just, if there's anybody in the chat right now, Waffly, I know you were there. How many people in our chat right now were present at the 5-year anniversary in Los Angeles? I guess almost, year and a half ago now. Is anybody? I know Waffly was there. Remember Waffly? Lango says, my face scared your children. It's starting to come back. The eyebrows are starting to grow. The hair is starting to grow. I mean, it'll be back to normal before too long. Okay. The hair. Everyone's surprised at how much hair I'm growing very quickly. All right. But real quick,
that you don't normally grow hair. That's true. Beck is making a.
Yeah, I'm reading. Go ahead. I saw that I was frightening children. I had to comment on it.
No.
Real quick, has anybody been to that talk? Waffly says I watched the stream. Waffly, I thought you were in LA with that meet and greet with David E. Okay, wasn't you? I don't remember if there was anybody in our chat, but I remember David E., the general manager at the time, who came out and said, STFC 2.0 is not as realistic as going in and trying to. He told us 2 years ago, Griffin, that he was directing an effort at trying to revitalize some of the old code. All right.
Well, as Beck is pointing out, the original 2016 plan was not to even have a real-time game. And a lot of the programming was done in that vein. And then as the evolution of the game evolved for whatever reason, and then it became what was eventually launched in the beta and live, it was a real-time game to a degree where there was a PvP element, but some of that code still exists in there that was never even intended to do what it's doing now or even back then. So yes, there's definitely the chance here for a renaissance, but those growing pains are real when you have old data talking to new data, old processes, new processes running through old processes and coming back out. That causes delays. So here we are.
I agree. And I have a question about that. Again, to the technical people in the chat, because I don't understand this as much. When you say it wasn't intended to be a real-time game, what does that mean? What is a not real-time game? He mentions that in this article, that it was not, that as time has gone on, this has become more of a real-time game. What is an example of a not a real-time game?
The missions. When you're playing the missions, that's not real-time. Turn-based. You do this, the game does that. You do this, the game does that. And it's all based on your timing, like the missions aspect of the game. Now, you throw in PvP, and I'm moving this way and you're moving that way. That's real-time. See the difference?
Okay. So I mean, we're talking PvE versus PvP. That's the difference.
PvP is turn-based, not real-time. PvE is turn-based, not real-time. PvP is, of course, real-time.
Okay. Spectre says you're absolutely right. And this is, I like the fact that we're having this conversation. I remember when Ripper would just beg Scopely to come out with a technical conversation. You know, hey, listen, not everybody's going to get it, but tell us what's going on. I feel like Luke did a really, really good job here. Luke did a good job with, you know, trying to explain it, but also giving a little bit of actual architectural information that some of you guys are going to understand and others aren't. For example, me, and you guys are going to have to explain it a little bit. But yeah, I see some of this, like the turn-based thing. So you're saying that the original designers of this game, all the way back in 2016, this game was not designed to be PvP at all? It was just
No, you're building your station and you're doing missions. I can totally imagine a game that way because that game was all throughout the 90s. That's what these games were on consoles. And then even early into like tower defense games, all turn-based. You're building up a thing. It takes time to do, and you're attacking an enemy while you're waiting for that thing to build. And you buy this pack to make it build faster. That's the model. Then when it became community-based, starting with really Phantasy Star Online on the Dreamcast in 1996, that's when the whole PvP element sort of jumped on board here.
Star Trek Sim City, says Waffly. A mining game, says Benny Hill. King of the Realm, STFC edition. These are some of the things, you know, and Beck says, you know, even for her, fascinating to learn from on her side, conducting the interview, really had no idea the origins of this game and how it was originally designed. I'll tell you, I'm curious at this point. Luke sounds like he's been around for a minute. Sounds like he understands the code, old code, new code, and understands how that has, or at least now has a better understanding of how all that stuff relates, Griffin, because he's had to investigate what he refers to as old code to bring it up to spec, right? To make it compatible with some of the new stuff that they've added. I would love, I don't know that this will ever happen, but I would love a sit down with somebody back in 2015, 2016 to show us maybe even some original sketches, what this game was originally going to be, just as a fun what if. You know, that would be a fun what if. What was the game originally designed to be? I do remember, this is why I asked about that Los Angeles trip, because David E. told us a little bit about this, and I really wish that there was somebody in the chat right now that was with me there when we had this sit down, because he had originally explained that this was a game that, hey, Bull, what's going on? It was originally a dangerous mining game and still is. That's true. I remember this, and maybe, Beck, you could remember, maybe he even talked about this during the 5-year anniversary live stream with the Hot Wings. I remember him saying something about that this game was originally, it was built as a fleet, but we've played this game online. What is it? Command and Conquer? A Command and Conquer game where, like, you had, 500 ships, right, of this class. And then you had 100 of these. Like, you were building. It was originally that style of game where, once you died or, once the match was over, everything just reset and you went back. That's how this game was theorized at one point. David E. had told us about this history. Guru says it was originally not even a space game, right? That I don't know. But I don't know. When David E. was telling us about what this game was when he became involved in the project, it literally was kind of like a quote-unquote Command and Conquer. That this game, that you would go in, you would build your buildings, right? You would build up your base, but then you were just pumping out ships to go and take over sections of space. And one of the concerns that he had aired at that time, and we're talking back 2015, 2016, one of the concerns that he had aired at that time, Griffin, was we don't want players to have more than one Enterprise D. We don't want players to have more than one, Klingon bird of prey. Like, those things were special, and they didn't want to demean the character of Star Trek or the uniqueness of Star Trek by letting you build 100 Enterprise Ds, for example. And then, because that's not what it was. Lore-wise, you might have had a bunch of Constitution-class ships and a bunch of Galaxy-class ships, but there was only one Enterprise D. And so this game quickly kind of veered away from that particular model. But, and the more I talk about this, the more I kind of remember him talking about that in that lecture was, how this thing was supposed to be. And I know that there are some videos and there are some screenshots from, the original beta days. But no, surprisingly, I did not play the beta. I did not. Stevens Aaron played the beta. All right. But no, I did not play the beta. I downloaded the game, I think it was 4 or 5 days after global launch. Global launch was November 20-something.
2017.
No, it was 2018. It was 2018.
2018.
I'm just trying to remember the exact date. It was like November. It was right around Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, November 25th, something like that. And I think I downloaded. It was also November, but like November 29th or something like that I downloaded the game. So, now Mimi says, I guess that's why they have hangar slots and whales can only have 50 Enterprise Ds. Yeah, but that also kind of developed over time too. I am sure that when the game was written, I mean, go back when we started the game. Nobody flew multiple Enterprises. When we first started this game, when Ops 39 was the cap, all right, you might have seen a couple of players with multiple epics, but you really didn't see a lot of players with multiple of the same because scrapping had not been invented at that point. All right.
And it basically took you a year to get to the 30s in the first place.
That's true.
Back then.
Yeah. Some people only flew Mayflowers. Yeah, that's right. Thank you.
Paid $1,000.
Whatever. Anyway, so you're right. And by the way, you're right. There were a couple of players that built multiples, but I mean, that was very rare. That was extremely rare.
You were like Boss Hog if you had 2 of those. Ooh, unbelievable.
Yeah. It was, I mean, I remember seeing, what was it? The Centaurian. I remember seeing the first Centaurian on server 15 flying around. And that's right. That Centaurian was, it was dominating our space because up until that point, the baby jelly was kind of the big thing. You had, you had the Mayflower, but the Mayflower didn't hold up. You had the Legionary. It wasn't holding up. None of those level 26 ships were holding up. And I remember the level 26. No, the North Star wasn't around at that time. See, you're dating yourself, buddy. The North Star didn't come out until much, much later. All right. When we were originally playing G3, legacy servers, G3, the North Star didn't exist. All right. And
it did not.
No. And it came much, much later. So we're talking, and by the way, even the Mayflower was not a ship that was there at launch. They added those level 26 ships well into the launch of the game. I think because there was so much of a gap, all right, between the G2 ships and the G3 ships that they added, that extra little thing in there, but they ended up being squishy. They ended up being soft. And I remember seeing our server's first Centaurian, and it was just like, I mean, it killed everything. Nothing could stop it. Nothing could stop it. Shout out Evo. All right, nothing stopped it on our server, and it
Evo,
just
wow.
Oh yeah, man, it just went. Evo, Ezo.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, It's terrible now that I can't remember server 15. Who was it? We've got a museum dedicated to him, actually. Yeah. Who was it? It was Ezo. The Museum of Ezo. I'm looking at my Discord right now. Archived rooms. Tell me I didn't get rid of it. Oh, I hope I didn't get rid of it. It was I can't find it. So, wait, here, server 15, Ezoisms. It was Ezo. That's right, Bizarro. Thank you. Ezo 123. We have a museum in my old server 15 Discord dedicated to Ezoisms. Buddy, he killed everything. Didn't matter what. He had the biggest ships. And I remember seeing his Centurion the very first time. And it was, Otter the Centurion. And then, you go on to the level 34 ships and then the level 36 ships. In those days, you did not, they were so expensive. Do you guys remember, well, this is a silly question because, yes, we've talked about the fact that I spent $1,000 on a Mayflower. Okay. By the way, Ezo was a large part of that. Just throwing that out there. Okay. Ezo was a large part of me spending money on a Mayflower because I could not fight him no matter what. No matter what. Didn't matter what I threw at him. I could not fight him. All right. Did I get my money back? Hell no. No, that didn't happen. All right. But I come back and I say, these were the days. Now, people aren't going to believe me, but you know what? Yo, Bizarro, you're going to remember. TJ, you will probably remember. How many of you guys remember $100 packs that contained 18 G3 uncommon crystal?
Oh, yeah.
12 G3 uncommon ore. 12.
That economy was rough.
That economy was insane. Like, you guys talked today. Multiphasics wasn't a thing. All right. The refinery was your only source of income. By the way, go back to year one of this game. I know you guys are going to. This is going to be hilarious to some of you new players. There weren't events. Yeah, you heard me right.
There weren't really arcs.
There were no events. There were no arcs. As a matter of fact, the very first arc that was ever launched was Separatist bosses.
Mm-hmm.
Separatist bosses. That's right, Bizarro. We made our own game. It was a sandbox, and it was just kill everything. As a matter of fact, the biggest thing that you had going on in those days was raiding. And now, if you will indulge me for a moment, since I can tell you that PAX had 12 crystal. Oh, no. Hypodermic says Epic Armada directives were pay only. Buddy, Armadas were coming soon for 2 years. Yeah, they didn't exist, baby. All right. The Armada coming soon banner was in our game for 2 years. That's right, Envenadia. We were raiding with envoys. We were cracking with baby jellies and raiding for envoys, raiding with envoys.
This is a point in time when the Vault of Latinum pack was actually a great deal.
No, it was never a good deal. I'm talking about if you went to a raid. Now, I swear I am not making this up. Some people are going to be like, oh, well, DJz is walking uphill. He don't remember. Guys, if you got 15,000 steel out of a raid, it was a good day. Oh, it was a great raid. That was the raid. You got 15, 20,000 steel? Shoot. You could upgrade 3 buildings. All right. How many of you legacy players did it take 6+ months to get to ops level 15?
Oh, yeah.
Right here. How many of you players it took a year to get to ops level 20? Right here. Yeah, look at that. Savage Darkness says it took me a year to get to ops 15. I mean, this game, Wardod, what you doing, buddy? See, listen, we're talking about the good old days. We're talking about the good old days, and then Wardod pops out. He's like, man, I remember the good old days. I remember the good old days of server wars and legislative councils and all this crap on our server. Wardod was one. I know you guys will never believe this. Wardod was one of the biggest D-holes on our entire server. All right.
No
Oh,
way.
yeah. Wardod has played by the same set of rules today that he has for the last 6 years. He blew everything up. He didn't give a crap what color. And by the way, there was no diplomacy. And there was no diplomacy back then. You didn't have markers. There was no alliances. All right. There was no naps, at least not officially. You were doing all that stuff backdoor. You were doing all that stuff in Discord through galactic councils and this stuff. Guess what? Wardod always fought that machine. He was like, yeah, no. He never. That was the game. The Dominion. Bizarro remembers. Oh, for those of you on server 15, what a great piece of history. Chala, who still plays the game, instigated the Great Chala War on server 15. You want to know how he started that war? By being less than Ops 15 and sitting his envoys on G3 mining nodes.
Oh, that's a no. You cannot do that. Ooh.
Oh, yeah. He was an ops level 14, and he sat ships on mining nodes because at 14, you can't PvP.
That's right. You just locked it up.
You locked it up. And by the way, I'm going to go back and remind you that the map was about 1/10 of the size it was. How many, I'm going to ask a stupid question here, because I don't know the answer. How many G3 crystal nodes do you think were actually in the game? Nodes, not systems, but nodes. 50? Maybe? I could remember like 3 or 4 systems that even had them. Captain Bull says 42. Icewolf says maybe 50. Yeah, and that's right, Captain Bull, if they worked, because oh, God, what's the defense guy's name? The resurrection officer, Vemit. He was breaking nodes.
He was breaking nodes. They'd be stuck at 0 for a long time.
Broken nodes. Do you guys remember the old broken nodes? Now, listen, I didn't mean to take Luke's interview and go back into it, but here's what I'm talking about. Luke is right. This game has changed so much. So much.
It's a completely different platform now in every way.
It's no wonder that that game isn't compatible with today's game. It's not even remotely close to the same. I mean, it's mind-blowing, really, when you think about it. And I dare I say, without sounding shilly, but hey, not bad, right? Look where we were and where we've gone.
Oh, I completely agree. The way this game has evolved, it's a testament as to why it has so many players that it does today that have stuck around for so long, but that continues to acquire new players every single month and new servers opening up. It's because of the evolution and how it has changed, rather than sticking heels in the ground and then this is what the game is, and when you're sick of it, move on.
Yeah. And Shiz says, tech debt is real and happens even with the best of development. And I don't necessarily disagree with that, because we saw Scopely and primarily Digit at the time saying, okay, we're gonna circle back. We're gonna come back to this later because we've got more content to put out. All right. And I'm telling you, at that time, they were building content. I remember when Armadas were being built for 2 whole years. When was the first battle pass? It wasn't until 2020. We didn't
I think it was right around the
Separatist bosses
when Khan came into the game. After Separatist, I think it was with the Outlaws.
You know what? I think you might be right. I think Outlaws were the first battle passes. The very first event store was the Separatist bosses.
Mm.
Bizarro says Borg was the first arc. Gosh, now I think you're right, Bizarro.
Borg was the first
arc. We had Borg points.
Arc, but I don't think it had a battle pass.
Yeah, you're probably right about that. because the battle
came
pass
after ARCs came.
the battle pass at that time was in the event store. Remember that we have the Borg points. We still have the Borg points.
Yeah, they're right there in your inventory. Go take a look.
We still have the Borg points. All right.
They're right there next to the tribbles.
Yeah. We still have the Borg points. That was the first ever version of a battle pass. And you're right. The actual battle pass came later, but that was Scopely's first stab at a battle pass. And by the way, it wasn't paid. Like it was a meta, if you will. It was a progression track. And they put it in the event store. It was in the event store tab. They didn't put it in the events tab until much, much later. All right. Yeah, it was up in the event store tab. The very first event store came out with Separatist bosses. I remember that because that was when I chose. Get this. That was when I chose. This is how bad the Refinery was and how expensive packs were. Okay? This is how expensive packs were with their 12 and 15 and 20 crystal in a $100 pack. I chose 50 uncommon G3 crystal over John Harrison.
Oh, yeah.
To this day, if Snake Eyes were here, he would tell you. He makes fun of me to this day because I chose uncommon crystal over John Harrison. And by the way, I took a couple of people with me. Shout out Captain Bull. I did. I because the event store that month gave $300 or $400 worth of crystal. Yeah. And by the way, that crystal was the only way. I mean, you weren't tiering your envoy out of the Refinery. There were no events. I mean, you're talking the Refinery was paying 6, 4, 3 crystal. All right. There was no event store. There were no events that paid this kind of material at that time. You had like 1 or 2 events a day. And they were paying points in this meta. All right. So when an event store came along and offered $400 worth of crystal, you bet your ass I jumped on it.
You took it.
It was the wrong decision, but I understand why players did that, why they did, because that was literally months. It was probably 2 months worth of progression in the event store. Just for G3 crystal. It took months to tier up an envoy. I'm not kidding. Months to tier up an envoy. Lango says, what's the purpose of this conversation? Did Big Brother tell you what to say after I spoke my mind? No. I really, again, I reiterate that was more of a personal choice. I didn't like how I conducted myself. That being said, no, this is more of like a going back. And really, truthfully, that really wasn't intended tonight. The reason that I'm going back is because I was looking at Luke's interview, which was...
Oh, guys, this is 100% tangent. Can confirm. We did not talk about having this conversation.
We did not.
Before he went on. It's fun to have.
Yeah, he wanted to do Voyager trivia and talk about the article and what we're looking forward to with arenas. That being said, though, this is totally tangential a little.
It's a tangent.
Tangent, yeah. Anyway,
don't create a word.
Lango. Tangential. Say thank you. That's what I was going for.
You need the PhD to use a word like tangential. So don't even try, DJs.
Listen, I was almost there. Tarpy, I was almost there. Thank you for pushing me over the edge. I was close.
You're welcome.
No, Lango, the reason that I guess the reason that I'm having the conversation is I see merit in the comments that it's a different game now than it was 8 years ago. Like, this interview was, I felt like it came from a position of humility.
I will say that it's enlightening and validating for many of our experiences.
Yeah. Like, hey, we know that there's problems. And by the way, some of the problems that we know we have is stuff that you guys have been telling us for a long time. You know? This tick system and lag and the way that the game communicates back with the server. We've been shouting about this for a while. You know? And for them to come out and say, okay, you know, we have gotten to a point where we can't just keep stacking code on top of code. I mean, there's memes about it. I saw one in the chat just a little bit ago. There's memes about the fact that Scopely just keeps slapping more stuff on. We knew it was eventually going to come apart. Bizarro says this validates kind of what we already knew, and honestly, this might be the best kind of communication that we received from Scopely in a while. It comes from a place of compassion and understanding, and I agree. Like, this comes from a place that is like, okay, yeah, we've hit a brick wall. Now we know we need to do something about it. Retrieving says we hit that point 3 years ago, and I agree. I agree with that too, Retrieving. So this, depending on how big this overall is, all right, and that is the big thing, right? Do they have a plan, housekeeping? Sounds like he does, okay? Sounds like he does. Sounds like they put some in it. And further, this is reading between the lines. I don't feel like he tried to get us with, hey, we got this thing licked. We got it fixed. Don't worry about it. He says specifically, like, this is going to be a big process. As we collect data, hear the feedback, we're going to keep refining this code. We're going to keep tweaking on it. We're going to keep working on it. We want all your bug reports. If you encounter glitches, performance issues, anything that impacts your enjoyment, we need to know about it. We need the details about it. Don't just say it's lag. I want to know what it's doing. Take pictures, take video. Give us your details. We want to know so that we can chase it down. And further, I mean, there's a whole section on this thing about legacy code updates, and we've known this. This is the first time Scopely has come out and said, okay, we've hit a wall that we just can't ignore anymore. We've got to go back through and update some legacy code. We've got to improve the core architecture. And further, he says it's not going to happen in one update. I am hoping, Griffin, that we see a tangible shift in performance this coming Monday. January the 20th for everybody. I say Monday for me, Sunday for you Apex, okay? But Monday, January the 20th, we will see the return of arenas. And gosh, I hope, fingers crossed, that we see a run much more akin to week one. And
we'll definitely be streaming it live on Monday, and we can look at those results together. Just don't forget, the whole point of the article is don't expect a solution, expect a tangible step in hopefully the right direction. And when something does go wrong, because it will, don't tell the chef simply that you hated the dinner. You got to tell them that the Brussels sprouts were too salty or a little too overdone. So there's still lag all over the place. It's not the answer. It's, hey, when I have my cube out and I have this crew on, I noticed that I was rubber banding, or that's at this point, I need to do a little bit of troubleshooting, and let's discover, what the who, what, when, where, why, and how of when something performs in a way that we don't expect it to. And I bet you that's really going to help.
Yeah. A couple of things that I'd like to point out in the chat before we take our very first break is this, and I'm going to address a couple of comments. All right. This is one. Hey, this feels a lot like, color me pessimistic, but this feels a lot like a previous issue where, hey, we got the quality over quantity incident. That's what I'm going to call it, the quality over quantity incident. And you know what? Again, I can see that, Camel. I can see how much quantity we got. I can see how how much quality we got. And if this falls flat, I could totally agree with you. All right. The difference is, and we've talked about this before. This probably just comes, and I'm not going to brag, but this comes from years of being a professional communicator and interviewing. almost 28 years now, almost 3 decades. I can kind of feel out when somebody's giving me lip service as compared to when they're actually putting a little bit of thought into some questions, or if it's a thoughtful answer. I know, crazy. DJ's a professional. Pfft. All right. but no, these answers were thoughtful. And I think that for me automatically makes me just a little bit more hopeful. Again, it could fall flat. We could be right back in the same place we were a year and a half ago. But I feel like this guy understands the pain, understands the pressure points, and may have a solid understanding of what it's going to take to fix it. And tells us that this is going to be a process that's going to run over months. Okay? I hope to see these improvements. We shall see. But what I will say in kind of summary of all of this, clearly Luke is a Trek fan. His staff photo is that of a Klingon. All right? In cosplay. Him as a Klingon in cosplay. So he's a Trek fan. That also makes me feel better, Camel. That also actually makes me feel a little bit better because he has something to gain by it. All right. So go ahead. Go ahead.
Definitely accidentally, in my view, the best roadmap article we've had in years. And knowing who wrote the article and put it together, probably not even accidentally, especially based on our interactions with Scopely and conversations we've had with, for example, game design last week.
Yeah.
This is an article that really points to, we know what's going on. We're on top of it. And here's, in fact, what we see and what we're going to do about it. So I love everything about it. And I am optimistic that we are headed in a good direction after reading that article. So great job to Beck for putting that out. And I'm really looking forward to engaging on Monday and seeing how we can help and what we see in step 1 here.
Yeah, we'll be broadcasting everything. We'll be taping everything. I'll be relying on you guys for the clips that we will be sending into engineering, just like we have been for the last several months. Listen, I'm going to tell you, and I'm not taking any credit here, but I will tell you that Beck was able to get some significant traction when you guys, Muffins, shout out Muffins. Do you guys remember when we did the side-by-side playthrough video? When we for the first time as STFC creators were able to put my gameplay and his gameplay side by side, and we watched the interactions live in a battle in arenas, and we saw my ship here, but way over here on his screen. All right? That kind of content hasn't been released before. That circulated the halls of Scopely Engineering. That video. Muffins, you are a legend because that particular piece of content has gotten more traction than anything else that we've been able to tell them up to this point. And I appreciate and thank Beck, Sierra, Hammy for pushing it because I felt like that was a piece of ammunition. I felt like that was a piece of ammunition that was desperately needed. And I don't think that's scary at all, Spectre. I think that speaks to the power of community. All right. Could they have done it themselves? Sure, Guru. But again, playtesting, we've proven this time and time again. Playtesting, no. Cruzito, we did not see that in the playtest. And I can personally attest to it. I did not see it in the playtest. Wasn't a thing. Although, in fairness, guess what? In the playtest, we weren't running speed. We hadn't fleshed out the strategy yet. It was supposed to be about PvP. We were testing PvP loadouts, which is why I'm further convinced that impulse speed is dangerous in this game. All right.
I am truly convinced that after Arenas was launched, a change was made having to do with this tick system. Probably the first change they did, and it had to do with impulse and what ship is where and when. And that was the first step going from something old to something new. And boy, the two were not compatible with each other. And
No.
we've been fighting our way back since then.
Absolutely.
That's all there is to it.
Shiz was asking about the how many people were in the playtest. That's another. We had what? 10 people? There was 10 of us. There was 10 of us. We were testing one instance of Arena, and that was when it was 5v5. All right? So, yeah, it was just one. We didn't have these issues. All right? So, but you're right. You can't kill what you can't catch. The community learned very quickly, Wrestling, that speed was the key. Well, that wasn't how Stewie and I played it. All right? Stewie and I were playing full-on PvP. We were trying to figure out 8 crews worth of PvP in the playtest. The community forms the content. You know, we saw that in the interview with Chroниtis. He talks about how it's interesting to watch the community take the content that they designed one way and morph it into something else. I will say, despite the fact that you know, game design has their intent, it's probably generally somewhat rare that we play it with that intent. We play it as players. We find a way to beat it. All right? A lot of gameplay is emergent. You're exactly right. So it doesn't surprise me that even in the playtest that I participated in, I didn't find that because you guys helped refine the strategy.
And furthermore, the playtest is a total of 10 net hours of beta testing. 10 people basically for an hour. Okay, it's 10 hours. Then it goes live. And now all of a sudden there's 100,000 of us, let's say 10,000 in this large community who's online and talking to each other. That's 10,000 hours in the first, you're going to find stuff that way. This is how it works.
And Daystros, I think you're right. We don't stress test the system. We're looking for things to break. We're checking the feature itself. When I play test something for them, I'm checking for the feature. I'm looking for brokenness. All right. We rarely, we don't get to stress test it. Because there's not enough volume. There's not enough volume there to stress. Not enough time either. All right. All that to say, you know what? Camel says, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt, DJ. And that's fair. If it fails, I'm coming after you. Okay. Well, I mean, I'm just the messenger. But you know what? I appreciate that because I'm also willing to give the benefit of the doubt. This article felt genuine. I also know why it came out. And I'm appreciative of the community management team and Beck on the marketing team for doing it because I think this is something that the players needed to see. And Luke gave a fantastic interview. Luke gave thoughtful, fantastic answers. And while it does sound like I'm doing an about face compared to the last interview, allow me just to publicly say this was a much better interview. I'm still not happy with the last one, but this one was much better.
That's not my fault.
It's not your fault. All right. Absolutely not. And by the way, Lango, that's how I know that it was a me thing because you know what? I was actually having this conversation with someone the other day when I was actually telling somebody about how I felt badly about that. And I've got 3 minutes and I've got to take a break. But it was I'll tell you, I was talking to Fred about it. You guys remember Fred, my therapist. And I said, here's why I issued the apology. Here's why I issued the statement. And I said this on the last show, but I'll say it again. If I had been willing to say what I said to Chronitis' face, then I shouldn't have apologized. But if I knew that I wouldn't say that to his face, then it was inappropriate. Right? And I know me. I know that if I had been in that interview, I would have been just as critical and I would have been just as dissatisfied with the answers. But I would have framed that response differently. I know I would have. You guys have heard me before. I have framed that response differently with Echo. I have framed it differently with Panic and Ares and every other community manager we've ever had. And so that's how I know, Lango, that I had to issue the statement. It was not, it had no influence at all from Scopely. It was a me thing. To be fair. Yeah, Aries deep cut. He wasn't here very long, was he? That was a quick one, in and out. So yeah, that's why I say that, Lango. This has nothing to do. As a matter of fact, I'm glad Scopely did publish this interview because, frankly, they needed to. It was redemption. The last interview was not good. All right, but this one was, and I'm okay to speak. I'm okay to speak to that point because this one I felt was better. All right. Yes, my eyebrows are growing back. Thank you. I appreciate that. The apology wasn't about Scopely. It was about owning my actions, and it showed character. Well, I appreciate that. That was my point, Shiz, was it was never about what Scopely said, did, or reacted. It was always about how I woke up the next morning and was like, yeah, that was probably not a good idea. I did also, it wasn't just that, not that I want to talk about this, but, it wasn't, I said that publicly for anybody to see that it was not okay for me to behave the way that I did. But I also messaged Hammy privately and sent him a message. And he responded and we had a conversation about it. It wasn't just something I did. I messaged him privately as well. So yeah, that wasn't how I would like to portray myself. And that's all it was, Lango. I appreciate you calling me out on it, but that's all it was, really, truthfully. That was just a me thing. I don't like to be that way. I can be critical. I can be angry. I can be respectfully. But I can be respectful, I think is what I was trying to say. I can be respectful about it. Should never have been personal. So, anywho, that's all I got to say about that.
Break time.
Let's see. What Dragon Keeper says, I think only DJ got to see it. What? See what?
Mwah. Mwah. You're the best. Mwah. Give me hugs and kisses.
Hugs and kisses. What? The interview with Luke? No, I haven't gotten to watch it. All right, I haven't gotten to watch it either. I've seen a little bit more than what's on the blog, but also let me point out, I've never met the guy. Okay, I have not. I've heard a lot about him. I will say that I have heard about him. And I've heard he's kind of a genius. So we'll see.
He's super passionate about Star Trek in the game, too. Like, for real.
Yeah. I also hear through the grapevine that that not only was this interview something that he completely volunteered for, but also, like, this whole legacy code revamp has kind of been his passion project for a little while. Like, he's been trying to gain some traction on working on that. So, this guy understands where the problem is, and I think he's been trying to push to get there just through the grapevine. That's not official. Beck is going to say, how did you know that? Because I know things. But, yeah, he's actually been pushing for this project for a little while. So, I believe that he gets the benefit of the doubt, and he gets a big kudos for coming out and actually owning it. So there's that.
So here's what we do. You go to 1-800-Flowers.com.
No, don't do that.
You sign up for their gift package promotion, and you send him a box of chocolate covered strawberries. Boom. They do ship internationally.
So we got a 1-800-Flowers sponsorship now?
You too can apologize by way of chocolate covered strawberries to anybody. Simply by going to the website and registering at 1-800-Flowers.com/free delivery and sign up for the gift of your choice, not just flowers, at 1-800-Flowers.com. DJ?
Thanks, Griffin. Now over for weather. Did we get a bingo square on that? Do I have a bingo square? Yeah, Crisito, I thought so too. I thought we paid for no ads, right? Like,
oh man.
Oh my goodness gracious, that is hilarious. Let me say,
see, Beck will accept flowers, not chocolates, at the Scopely office. We do have that address, DJs. We can make that happen as well.
We do.
Well, you can, because I don't feel like, other than Beck is my friend, I'd send her flowers, just because I like her. You might have other reasons to send Beck flowers.
I don't.
Okay.
I'll just put that to bed real quick. No.
What you getting at there?
Yeah,
Griffin?
what are you getting at there? Huh?
I don't know. Maybe somebody made somebody really mad last week and they want to apologize for something they may or may not have said.
Like I said, it wasn't about anything that Scopely said or didn't say. It's about how
There you go.
it was about the eyebrowless bald head that I had to look at it the next morning. All right.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That was your first day and it was no eyebrows and it was cold and the internet wasn't working. It was a perfect storm.
By the way, I do want to point out that it is 37 degrees here on the mountain today. And I said that to Griffin before the show. He was like, well, hot damn, it's double the temperature. It's like double digits.
That's twice as good as last week. Things are really turning up now.
I know. I feel great in here. I might even be just a little bit warm, to be perfectly honest with you, okay? I'm just slightly warm. Yes, 37, okay? Kirkhouse says DJz doesn't send Beck flowers. He sends $500 worth of McDonald's breakfast.
Worth of McDonald's breakfast and microwaves.
That's right. And I did send a microwave.
Yeah.
I did send a microwave as well. Okay.
DJs, we've got to take a break.
We
When
do
we
have
come
to take a
back,
break.
I want to answer a couple questions in the chat. I see RSDJs asked a couple about one more memory lane question about what your first
Sure.
1,000,000-point ship, what that was.
Oh,
So let's take a break and we come back and answer that and keep on going.
Yeah, we also have trivia. We also are marking literally 22 hours until the start of our huge Twitch.tv premiere. We've got some information and details on that coming up on the other side of the break. Please don't go anywhere. My name is UltimatDJz.
I'm Griffin.
And he's Griffin. And we'll be back right after these words here on the Twitch platform. And if those of you in podcast, you guys get to just hang out for a minute. How's that? Cool and fun. Fun and cool and fun. All right. If you are listening in podcast form, I'd like to thank you very much for consuming our content on iTunes, on YouTube Music, on Spotify, Pandora. We're all over the place. And I really do appreciate that. Griffin, while we have 3 minutes, I thought this would be a fun little impromptu thing. So earlier this week, all right, just full transparency, community. Earlier this week, you guys know things have been shifting for me at work. All right, I am very, very grateful for Mrs. Boss and everything that I have, but it's been no secret that for the last couple of years I've been trying to find a way to transition to being able to do this kind of work full time. And things at work have been weird. The economy's weird. It's a bad time. So I have been broker than I have been in a long time. Okay, right now, I am tonight. What I ate for dinner was 2 pieces of turkey lunch meat and a slice of tomato in between 2 pieces of bread. I think they call that a sandwich. All right.
It is.
Yeah.
There is a name for that.
I think it's a sandwich. That's what I had tonight. Sanguinator says, oh, hey, tell me, I relate. Bizarro says, tell me when you break out the ramen. I already did, but I'm not buying new ramen because have you seen the carb count in that thing? Holy
And the sodium.
And the
carbs
sodium?
And the sodium.
Oh my God. So I can't do that anymore. Okay. No, I can't because I'm also trying to do better with my health. But anyway, I am looking to my content to do more. And I know that I've mentioned this over the first couple of shows of this year that we are trying to work on our redemption milestones. I'm offering the community some fun, silly content in exchange for you guys helping us do really our biggest fundraiser of the year for ourselves. We did the big one with the Christmas Angel Fund. Yeah, Chef Boyardee is out the window. I haven't been able to eat beefaroni or SpaghettiOs in weeks. Okay, I haven't. I haven't been able to do it in weeks. It's killing me. But we are asking the community to help us out. Our fundraising goal is $7,500. That will help with the technical improvements that we want to make in the studio and help secure some of the broadcast plans that we've got throughout the year 2025. But also, honestly, just trying to help put things together here and allowing me to continue to do what I do for you guys on a very regular basis. That being said, earlier this week, I asked Griffin, because he's obviously a very famous film producer, okay? I mean, if you guys didn't know that. I asked Griffin for a contact. I said, hey, you know any agents in Hollywood, New York, Miami, anybody that would be interested in voiceover. And he said, I know a couple of dozen people. But he comes back and he says, listen, do you have any samples of your work? And I'm
Do
like,
you have a reel? Where's your reel? Hey, pal, give me your reel is what I said.
What?
Do the reel.
What's a reel? So I apparently have to give sample reads to these people because they have to be able to hear what it is that I sound like or how I read. So here was what I wanted to do during this commercial break, which, by the way, is already over because we chat too much. Griffin, if you would, since you are so great at the endorsements and the product placement in the show, I was wondering if you or the community would chat GPT me a 30-second commercial. And
Sure,
I
man.
will cold read that commercial right here. And that will be an example of that'll be something I can put in the reel. Right? I could do it right here, right now. Just while we're doing content, I'll clip it out and boom. There is a cold read. Apparently, which is what they want. They want a cold read. Spectre says that's a horrible show reel. What? What do you mean it's horrible?
Tomorrow.
What do you mean it's horrible? He wants me to. He says I just need to read stuff. He doesn't want it produced. He just wants me to read it.
Yeah.
Lost In says, so I guess you're still going to count on. I'm still going to count on donations. What do you mean? Am I asking you guys to help me out? Yes. Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. It's not super comfortable. I've never really been very good with that, but I have also learned over the last how long have we been doing this now? 2.5 years here on Twitch. I've been told that I shouldn't because we put a lot of time and effort into it, and if we provide entertainment to you, then it's appropriate to ask you guys to consider supporting the show. So there we go. Jondrel says, and hope no one will hit you with an attack. I'm very confused. What kind of attack? Lost In says, sounds risky.
Like a basic,
because
what,
the cold
what's
read,
risky? What did you say?
The cold read is going to be bad. Yeah, stupid news can't be used, Dastros. I actually asked Griffin, can we just pull some clips? He was like, no. He was like, they don't care what you sound like layman. They want to hear a spot. They want to hear like an actual spot. So, okay, Pixelate says he sent me one. All right. Here we go. This is, and by the way, I appreciate this. He says you've got to set the tone. The tone is excited with a mix of sarcasm and humor. Oh, boy. Okay. Here we go. Cold read, number 1. Captain's log, stardate. Who even knows anymore? You just logged in to Star Trek Fleet Command, where the universe is at your fingertips. Until the bugs come crawling in. Want to mine resources? Good luck. That spinning wheel of doom might just be your new first officer. Trying to start a battle? You better hope the game doesn't freeze faster than a Borg cube in deep space. But hey, if you do manage to get things running, you'll love exploring new galaxies, forming alliances, and battling your enemies. Unless, of course, the server crashes mid-fight. Because nothing says strategy like praying your app doesn't reboot itself. Star Trek Fleet Command, boldly going where no game has gone before. With more glitches than a malfunctioning holodeck. Download now if you dare. Yeah, good.
I mean, that was okay, but I need a little bit more variety. A little higher, a little low, a happy, a little sad.
Give me a little something. Thank you for the applause. That wasn't the button I meant to hit anyway. I was trying to hit this one.
I sent you 2 more.
You want another one? Okay.
Yeah, I sent you a couple more.
Lost In says it was good. All right, fine. Okay, hold on. I've got a question. I got a question to answer. Who was this? RSDJ says, I like you talking about the game from before I started, DJs. What was your first 1 million power ship back in the day, and how did you react when I finally got there? Let me tell you something. Ships weren't 1 million power back then. Okay? Like, even when it wasn't the Saladin. It wasn't the Mayflower. Guys, these didn't get to 1 million. Do you guys
The
not
Enterprise
remember?
would be my first.
ISS
for sure.
Shelley.
Here, guys, you got to remember, there's been a great deal of power bloat in this game, okay? When we were going through G3, I bet we've got content from way back then, Griffin. Enterprises were a couple 100,000, okay? Like, they weren't that big. 500,000 maybe. The Mayflower was like big time, and it was 50,000, 60,000. Guys, you say the Enterprise might have been your first 1 million power ship, but it wasn't 1 million power when you built it. And it wasn't 1 million power as you were tiering it up. It became 1 million power later on in your STFC journey when you were doing other researches and other benefits and buffs and all this stuff. You didn't get a 1 million power ship by tiering it and building it at that time. Brett says you were over a couple million on the Enterprise by the time I was camping 39. Wham says, you're right, DJ, but it was 1 million before G4 launched, which is true. It definitely wasn't a couple million, Brett. But I think I do remember what Wham is saying, like when they finally launched G4. But you got to remember, G4 came and level 39 players had been capped for about 8 or 9 months at that point. So,
Yep, exactly.
yeah, you didn't get to 1 million power ships until G4. That was not a thing. So, yeah, to be honest with you, the ship that I was most proud of building, don't say it, was this is going to sound terrible. It was my Augur. My Augur was the ship that I was probably most proud of building in G3. I remember being super excited about the Sally. Obviously, I was very excited about the Mayflower until I wasn't. Until, $1,000 later, and it was basically like how it was unlocked. I think the Augur. I think the Augur was the one that I was most excited for, and there was a couple of reasons for it. One, by that time we were learning that battleships were pretty bomb in this game, especially for PvE. All right, they weren't at that time. The Augur was great, but the Enterprise was killing the Augur against the Triangle. All right, because of the morale shield effect. All right, the Enterprise
of the fourth effect.
Yeah, the Enterprise was OP back in the day. So PvP, the Enterprise was the way to go. PvE, it was the Augur. And while I love PvP and still do, the Augur was just real good. I don't know. And it was such a beautiful ship. I was really proud of how beautiful it was. And it just was. The Romulan ships have always been so beautiful to me. That's why I've stuck with the Romulan faction, because the ships are beautiful.
I have the same answer. My first ship that I was the most proud of that I actually took to max was the Centurion. I kept through the Centurion way too long. I didn't even build a G3 uncommon because I kept using my Centurion all the way through up until max. Beautiful ship. It was faster than the Augur, and that's what bummed me out about the Augur, if anything, was it was just so dang slow. There was not a lot of impulse help back in the day before Fleet Commander, before many of the tips that we have now, except for like Claw on the ship as a crew. But my Centurion was my baby all the way through, almost a G4.
Bull, can I share this screenshot? Are you okay? Is there anything on it you don't want me to share? I am being corrected on early content. Yeah, I'm being corrected.
I'm at rare. Yeah, you're right.
Bull says, go ahead. I'm going to put this up on screen. This is beautiful. This is from way back in the day, obviously. He called this a tale of two enterprises. And I'm going to describe it to you in the podcast audience. And I'm also going to put this slide. See, back in the day, there was much less education, which was actually one of the biggest reasons we started this podcast, was there was not a great deal of education in the game. We didn't have, all these amazing discords that were concentrated. We didn't have the officer tool. We didn't have Spock's Club. We didn't have stfc.space. All right, we didn't have any of this stuff. So Alliance Discords is where a lot of stuff started. And I hadn't met Jules. I hadn't met Blue. Blue's Cruise was not a thing. All right, Captain Bull was our Alliance's educator. And you can see in this screenshot here, this is when the game was capped at 39. This is before G4. Look here, that's a tier 4 Enterprise, a tier 5 Enterprise. All right, and looks like they were right around 2 million in power. Now, I will point out that Leachy, Bull, JB, they've always been whales. They were the strongest people in our alliance at the time. So this was probably not as common for most people, but I would probably hazard a guess that the Enterprise was over 1 million. So I stand corrected on that. But I do want to point this out. Take a look. The Armada that we were going after was 11 million in power. Okay, and these ships were 2 million, 2.7, 2.0, 2.6 million in power. Star Fury says Spock should not be on the Enterprise. You know what? That's correct by today's standards, but back in the day, who remembers? Spock did go on the Enterprise until Tier 4. Well, till Tier 5. Tier 4 and down, Spock did stay there mathematically. All right? A Tier 4 Enterprise still needed Spock's shield regen because it couldn't keep up.
I was waiting for that to be pointed out. And that's a big deal. You know, going from tier 4 to tier 5 on that Enterprise, that took a long time and a lot of materials were not commonly available.
That's right.
Yes, you did need Spock on the Enterprise until the math said otherwise.
That's right. As a matter of fact, this particular slide actually came from his teachings about when to use Spock and when not to use Spock. All right. Look here look here. Look at the top left tier 4 Enterprise. Doesn't have Spock. But look what happened to his shields.
Kaplooey.
They're gone. Okay? Then look at Leachy's, who doesn't have Spock, but he's tier 5, and his shields remain up. But then if you add Spock to the tier 4, his shields stay up. That was on tier 4. This was our mathematical proof that tier 4 was the cut point. You had to use Spock on the Enterprise up through tier 4. All right. So really, really interesting to go back and look at all this. Oh, was the 11 million the total Armada strength? Yeah, I see that now.
Yes.
Sorry about that. I see that now. I don't have the full context. I can't see the whole screenshot.
You know, it just seems like back then there was so much more. It was the age of discovery, and it was the age of not Star Trek Discovery. It was the age of discovering what was out there in the game.
Yeah.
These days, you know, there's a lot of new and cool things that come out every month, but it just almost seems like it's a little bit easier somehow than it was back then. I don't know. I can't put a finer point on it than that, but you know, it's just sort of the age of discovering how things work versus now we kind of know how they work and we're just learning the new loop.
You know, I'll agree with that from a very broad perspective. That's why I loved when Isolytic came. It was new.
Yeah,
it was a new
that
mechanic.
Changed everything. Yeah.
I remember when we first really got into cracking mitigation way back, like in the early days. Quirky Zombie, who, by the way, shout out to you, buddy. I saw him in our Discord the other day. I don't think that he's come back to playing full time, but he's back. Quirky Zombie was the game's. All right, I'm going to say this probably, and I hope I don't offend anybody. He was the game's original Alex. He would go in and he would like try to reverse engineer all these formulas. He was probably, as far as I'm aware, the game's first community side mathematician. He's the one who cracked the mitigation formula. Do you guys remember the mitigation formula? I know we've talked about this a couple of times throughout the years. RSD, you said that you wanted, this is going to blow your mind. You said you wanted to talk about the history of the game before you started playing it. I want to show you something. This is Quirky Zombies mitigation calculator.
Heavy duty, heavy lifting math here.
This is the most ridiculous math that had ever occurred in this game up until this point.
Yeah.
And this right here is the mitigation formula. And I'm going to screenshot this for those of you in podcast, for those of you who may not remember or still don't know what the mitigation formula is. This guy cracked it. Not by hacking the code, but by reverse engineering the math. Look at that ish. You know? Vul says,
I'm
oh my
still
gosh.
convinced he had a college course of kids all helping him get here.
Look at
because I
this.
can't.
That's right. That is extreme. Vul says, I remember when we were unlocking Pike and realized what his, at the time, was his double officers, the double synergy thing. At the time was like the double effect. And we were like, oh my God. I mean, Pike. But I'm telling you, this right here, this is the mitigation formula. The time stamp is 10:07 p.m. Eastern time for you podcast listeners. Go check that out if you've never seen it before. I remember when he cracked this thing. I mean, you're right, Griffin. That was the days of exploration, the days of truly diving into the mechanics and learning this game from the ground up.
Yeah,
it was
real
why,
renaissance of our age.
Yeah, it was why I liked Isolytic, because it was brand new mechanic. It's why I kind of was okay with Apex Barrier and even like True Critical Reduction, some of those net agents. Amber says there's just too much in the game now. There's a lack of discovery because we're all constantly doing the new loop and letting the old fall off instead of digging deeper in to discover more things. It almost happens too fast. I don't know that I disagree with that. We don't have discoveries like this anymore. We don't have these types of, I say we don't, but I mean, we still do. We still do.
Every month we're figuring out math, but the foundation has been laid.
Yeah. Lost In says, I remember when we figured out Talon for swarms. It was like magic. Do you guys remember when? Okay. Do you guys remember what you used before Pike Moreau Chen? Anybody remember?
The cadets.
The cadet crew.
Cadets. And by the way, Pike Moreau Chen.
Introduction.
Pike Moreau Chen wasn't even a thing until much later after it was all introduced. And what I mean by that is a couple of players discovered it because Pike Moreau Chen, that doesn't make sense. And by the way, Pike's tooltip was wrong. He didn't say what he does. Not like he does today. So a layman player looking at Pike wouldn't even think about Pike Moreau Chen because of the way the tooltip read. But some player out there, probably by accident, discovered it. And
that was very common.
It was the game. It was
misleading.
It was the game's best kept secret for months. People didn't talk about Pike Moreau Chen because they were convinced Scopely was going to take it away. And by God, eventually, years later, they did.
Yeah, RSDJ, I don't know how long you've been around, but when the Cardassians rolled out as part of the Deep Space Nine loop and these Cardassian armadas entered the game, Scopely legit nerfed Chen completely for 3 days.
No, Gala.
That was Gala.
Gala.
That was Gala.
Yeah.
Free Gala.
That was another one.
That was another big one. All right, the Free Gala movement. Who remembers that? I mean, there's some fun moments in STFC history. I don't even know how we landed on that tonight, but I've enjoyed this conversation. There has been some great moments. One of the one of my most favorite team-based mechanics that has ever existed in this game has not been armadas. Rating is right up there, probably top 3. But Captain Bull and Matt Dog are going to know exactly what I'm getting ready to say. My number...
star bases.
Separatist bosses.
Mm.
One of my favorite. Why? Why would that be? Yes, Roger Workman, you're right. You remember. Why would that be one of my favorite team-based mechanics of all time? Because it was the first unkillable hostile. It was the first unkillable hostile. That's right, Lost
Even
In.
for Dr. Juby?
Even for Ezo. Even for Bojack. Even for the game's biggest players. You had to multi-tap these hostiles. And by the way, there was no circle. There was no star base. There was no housing in that system. Look, today, there's no housing in the Separatist boss system. It was an unkillable hostile.
Ooh.
It took, you're exactly right, Caledon. It took, or Jules, it took multiple hits by multiple players. And in the meantime, you had to defend because there was no summoning. There was no instant jump. You were warping back to that system. And back then, warp speeds to that system were what? 2 or 3 minutes from the closest housing system. Even if you relocated to the closest housing system, it was 2 minutes. And there was no cancel warp. If you went to the wrong place, you went to the wrong place and had to come back. There was no cancel warp. Yeah. Imagine that. No cancel warp. As soon as you press the button,
find your hostile in the meantime.
As soon as you press the button, that was it. Your ship was gone for that amount of time. If you accidentally warped it on a 7-minute warp, too bad, so sad. You'll get a sandwich. You'll be able to do something else in 7 minutes. Huh. But I love the Separatist bosses. They were unkillable. That's right, man. Retrieving says we lined up. We had multiple players with multiple ships, one after another, tapping those hostiles until someone got the lucky kill. Roger Workman reminds us there were no participation chests. You had to be the one that got the kill. Amber says if you weren't defending that hostile, somebody else came over and jumped it.
Yep.
Ben Sai says, wait, are you guys talking about the 25,000 Separatist boss? Yes, buddy. The level 26 Separatist boss.
They packed a punch.
That was unkillable when they came out. And what did you get for killing it? Good God, I don't remember. I'm pretty sure it was for an event. I don't think they dropped anything. Yeah, maybe they did. I don't remember. What did they drop? Crazy amounts of officer XP. I remember they dropped crazy amounts of officer XP, but I think that was it.
That was the complete events. It was event-based participation.
Gosh. Lloydson says, I thought you could kill it with the Payflower. So did everybody who spent money on that ship.
You lose.
Try again. Yeah, so did everybody who bought that ship. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure, the Separatist-themed events is when those hijacked ships came out. That's when they came.
That's right.
Oh, man.
That's right around the Outlaw arc.
What a day. What a day in this game. Kind of miss those days, to be honest.
I'm telling you, there's a lot of nostalgia there.
Yeah, there was that. What's the story with the sarcophagus? Oh, the sarcophagus.
Oh, wow.
So the sarcophagus came very soon after. It was the ship that was meant to be for territories. Territory capture came out. That was Scopely's arena of that year. It was the big feature of that entire year.
Well, and it was the first time we got current Star Trek content in the game, as Star Trek Discovery was featuring, season 1 of Discovery with the sarcophagus and the Klingons. And so this was our first foray out of really the Kelvin universe into other Star Trek official, not made up properties.
Yeah.
And it was exciting. Big ship, big battleship, territory defender.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, see, here's the problem with that. It was supposed to be that, but this was, it came a little too late, because at that point, G4 had just come out. All right. And the G4 ships were very easily overpowering it. All right.
Because the Sarco had no attack. It had shield for days.
No shield.
Hull for days.
Hull for days. Yeah.
But the G4s would just rip right through that.
Yeah.
It's just like, what a joke.
It was really, really bad. Now, you could kill G4 ships with it. All right. You could, but it did not stand up against the game's whales. So if it had come out much earlier, if it had come out during G3 time, it would have been a great ship. G3 ships would have died. It would have been separatist bosses even for the big old enterprises. All right. But G4 had just come out, and some of your game's big advanced players, the big VIPs, they were coming in and just making quick work of the sarcophagus. Plus, it was very expensive to tier up. It just took tons of ore and tons of battleship parts. And honestly, I chose not to invest a ton into that, because I was focused on the Augur and the Tribune, or whatever it was at the time. So yeah, it was not. It just never really took off. And now, by the way,
that was the better bet for you to do.
Yeah, and for the record, it worked. Okay, the Sarco worked. It just came into the game too late.
If you got it on a node, it worked.
It just came to the game too late. It came to the game too late.
It did.
Hey, Admiral Hunter.
Territory capture.
Sorry, I did now saw Admiral Hunter rated in. Thank you, dude. I appreciate that. Sorry, I missed you 13 minutes ago. What's up, Grand Admiral Hunterinians? Thank you guys very much for being here. I appreciate it. So, yeah, it was slow. But Spock, I actually always found that to be slightly appealing. Not that it was slow, not that was appealing. That was the strategy, right? You had to get it somewhere. You had to run interference. You had to distract while that lumbered its big, goofy-looking butt over to a node. I didn't mind that for strategy, all right? Because here's the deal. If it truly would have been as invincible on the node as they intended for it to be, then I'm fine with it being slow. I'm totally fine with it being slow. That was the strategy, right? If you can get it there, you're gold. If you can get it there, it will win. Well, that's not what ended up happening.
Well, if it had 6 months in G3 before G4 ever existed, then it would have been one of the most powerful and the best sought after ships in the game. But the thing is, when TC first started, that first week of territory capture, I mean, the whales ruled the roost in that whole TC. And the solution that was given to us was a ship that would have worked if it were only G3. But because it was a G4 mix and the whales already had those ships, a lot of people had a really bad taste in their mouth because they invested their time and effort into upgrading a ship that was just easily smashed. Yeah. And that's the story behind the Sarco.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, the Sarco actually was not terrible design. It just came too late. They missed their window on that ship. So
that's also a little server dependent, because for my server that's 3 years younger than yours, when people were getting the Sarco, we were we were all in G3. So like it was actually a pretty big deal for a while if somebody had 1 or 2 Sarks.
Well,
because we didn't even have the Ascension yet.
While you were locked. Yeah, before, if your server was locked to 39. Now, once 40 unlocked, it was almost,
it went away real
It was
quick.
almost immediately irrelevant. That's what it would have been. So anyway, listen, I've enjoyed the walk down memory lane. We've got a couple of other things to do, and I will still entertain some questions out of the chat if you guys got them. But this has actually been fun, completely unplanned but fun. Griffin, you have another script for me here. Is this?
Yeah, just read down past the Chef Boyardee one, because that requires a second and a third participant, and then just start right over after the after the
Chef
upbeat,
Boyardee.
high energy background music starts.
This is what you want me to read.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Hold read. I'm going to mute.
Announcer, energetic and exciting tone. Okay. All right, I got this. You ready? Do you need a boost without the crash? Meet Ghost Energy, the zero sugar, fully loaded energy drink that powers your day with legendary flavor and serious performance. Packed with natural caffeine, brain-boosting nootropics, and epic taste, Ghost Energy fuels your hustle, whether you're crushing the gym, grinding at work, or gaming all night. 100% zero sugar, no artificial colors, just pure, clean energy. Ghost Energy. Be seen. Be legendary.
I think that's great.
See, send that stuff to an agent, man. I feel like I can.
You can do that one.
I mean,
Wait, hold on. We need one more look for
I can
you.
do
Let's try a different
commercials.
emotion. Go ahead and read this one.
I can do commercials. I mean, how
Read
much does a commercial pay? How much
Oh,
does
thousands, especially if it's
Really?
national, tens of thousands.
Oh
If it's
my
regional,
God! See, listen, you guys help me out with this. Somebody out there's got to be a VO talent agent. Any of you guys voiceover talent agents? Somebody come on. All right.
Well, you have energetic down. Let's try the next one and get you a different look. You know, diversity is important.
Oh my God! You're right. A good voiceover artist needs to have a wide variety of range, right, Griffin? So this one says gentle, compassionate tone. Right now, an innocent animal is suffering, alone, scared, and hungry. Every day, thousands of dogs and cats are abandoned, left to face the cold and hunger with no one to love them. But you can change that. For just $19 a month, you can give a rescued animal food, medical care, and a warm place to call home. Your kindness could be the difference between life and death. Please don't wait. Visit aspca.org or call insert number here now to save a life.
Music fades as a soft whimper or cat meow is heard.
Meow. Meow.
That was great, man. Congratulations. I like that.
All right, now where's my $10,000, huh? Where's my
Very good.
$10,000? All right, listen, I just got another one. Let's see. Matters sends one in. Calm and confident. All right, let's see if I can do calm and confident. Are you struggling with hair thinning or hair loss? Well, you're not alone. Millions of people face this challenge every day, but the solution is finally here. Introducing Renew Hair, the breakthrough hair growth formula that's been... Introducing Renew Hair, the breakthrough hair growth formula that's been scientifically proven to stimulate regrowth and restore your confidence. Whether it's a receding hairline, thinning crown, or patchy spots, Renew Hair works from the inside out, promoting stronger, healthier hair. Don't wait for the problem to get worse. Start using Renew Hair today and feel the difference. Fast, easy, and effective. Your journey to a fuller head of hair begins now. Call 1-800-HAIR-GROW or visit renewhair.com to order now. For a limited time, get 20% off your first purchase with promo code NEWHAIR. Say goodbye to thinning and hello to thicker, more vibrant hair with Renew Hair. Renew Hair. Because you deserve to feel great about your eyebrows again. Wait a second. What? Come on.
Oh.
No.
See,
Come
I knew that
on.
was set up for a low
You know
blow.
what?
I knew that was
God,
set
it
up for a low
matters.
blow.
What the hell was that? You set me up.
That was such a great read till the end. Damn.
It was
That
a
was
good
brilliant.
read. Come on, man. I was just reading. That was like, yes, I Ron Burgundy that thing, all right? Yeah. F you, San Diego. All right. Thank you.
Anyway. Go ahead and record 3 or 4 of those, and then we can have a good reel for you, pal.
Yeah, did you hear that cackle after I read that? You son of a biscuit. I see what
Terrible.
you did there.
I think I foolbot this.
Well done. Well done.
That was a good one.
Yeah, that was good. All right. That was very, very funny. I did not foobar that.
I am so positive.
I read it.
I'm full of positive energy.
Thanks for the positive energy. I read that just fine, okay? I read that just fine. Matters. That was a great
great.
that was a great read. All right. Is
You
renew?
know, you did pretty good. I think you might have a future in this.
Oh, thanks, man. Thanks. Yeah. I'm just trying to pay the bills, man. I just got to pay the mortgage. All right. That's all I'm after. Just got to pay the mortgage.
Well,
All right.
you can't sit home and watch Star Trek all day. But if you do, you stand a very good chance at getting 10 out of 10 at the new trivia that landed in the game today.
All right. Yep, that's right. It's time for some trivia. Let's go ahead and get into this here real quick. Let me see if I can pull up something a little bit. There we go. We'll see if I can pull up something that'll set the mood a little bit here, if I may. Griffin, I have not launched the game today. Okay, I have not opened the game. I am told that in the game today was a 10-question Voyager trivia. All right. A 10-question Voyager trivia, and Griffin thought that it would be
DJ,
fun. What?
What is wrong with you?
Nothing is wrong with me. I'm perfectly fine and fantastic. Everything is great. All right, wait, what is wrong with me that I haven't opened the game? Fair question. What I have been told, though, is that Griffin thinks that I will not get all 10 of these questions correct. I think that there's probably, how can I not, right? How can I not get all 10 of these questions correct? Because I love Voyager, and I am usually pretty good at the Scopely trivia. Okay? So I feel like today.
I'm so positive.
Thank you.
I'm full of positive energy.
I've got positive energy as well. Thank you, Raj. Griffin wanted to actually quiz me on the questions that are Voyager trivia based in the game today. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I will bring you this live, unedited, unscripted Voyager trivia. Griffin, what do you got for me?
All right, we have 10 very easy questions that should be easy for you to answer if you, in fact, are a fan of the game.
Got a problem here. Just stand by one moment, please. I didn't realize you were on the exact same pot.
Why don't you just do the trivia
When I
music?
started drinking warm water to help me lose weight, my friends.
Sorry, ads. What?
Just do the trivia music that you have potted up already on the stream deck, so you don't have to worry about that. The one that goes.
Oh, you want to do the contest one? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed time for contest. It is time for a game of Voyager trivia. All right, Griffin, hit me with your best shot.
UltimatDJz, you are now in the hot seat as we determine just how well you know what is allegedly one of your favorite series. 10 questions about Star Trek Voyager. We'll see how well you can do. Are you ready?
Yeah, the chat wants to do mice bets. I don't have time for that right now. Let's just knock it out. You guys can play amongst yourselves. All right.
Question number one.
Question number one.
What was the title of the pilot episode of Star Trek Voyager? Was it Encounter at Farpoint, Emissary Part 1, Boldly Go, or Caretaker?
Caretaker. Go ahead. Give me
You're correct.
Yeah, thank you. Ding, ding. Got it.
Question number two.
Yeah.
What species was Seska? Was she a Beta Z, a Cardassian, a human, or a Bajoran?
She was Cardassian. No, thank you. Yeah.
Question number three.
Yeah.
What iconic shuttlecraft was created by the Voyager crew in season 5? Was
Delta
it the
Flyer.
Delta Flyer?
Delta Flyer. Yeah. Thank you.
Not even getting all the questions here. Okay, that's fine.
That's good. Heck, come on.
What is the acronym EMH short for?
Emergency Medical Hologram. Thank you.
Question 5. This is the point where you can now stop and lock in your money or keep going.
Oh, wait, how much money? How much? Is this like the $10,000 pyramid or something? Okay, because I mean, I'm in on this.
It is, right?
Yeah.
Right now you're at $80. Right now you're at $80.
$80. Let's keep going. Keep going.
Okay.
All right.
Which legendary pilot appeared in the episode The 37s?
Oh my God. Wait, I get multiple choice, right? I get multiple choice, but I know the answer. Oh my God. Hold on. Give me my multiple choice. But I know as soon as I hear it, I'll know it. Earhart. Amelia Earhart. Amelia Earhart. Whew. Yes. Extra bonus points. Bonus points.
You got there.
Bonus
you don't
points.
need no stinking multiple choice. It's cheating if you have it. No more multiple choice. You're now locked in at $100. Question number 6.
Oh boy.
What species was considered a grave threat to the Borg in the Delta Quadrant?
Species 8472.
Correct. Question 7.
Yep.
At the beginning of their journey, how long would it have taken for Voyager to return home?
72 years. Actually, I think they just said 70 years, but I think later they specified that it would have been like 72 years or something like that.
These are tricky, so I'll give you your choices.
Okay.
Was it 3 hours, depending on traffic, 21 years, 108 years, or 75 years?
75 years, yeah. The 75. I'm pretty sure it wasn't specifically 75. I thought they said 70 in the very
I thought they said 84, but you know, numbers are numbers. Question
84.
number 8.
It was always 70.
You are 7 for 7 so far.
Yep.
Who was the first child to be born aboard Voyager?
Oh, I feel like this is a trick question, but I'm going to go with Naomi Wildman.
Correct.
No.
It is Naomi Wildman.
All right. Yeah.
Question number 9.
Okay.
What is Voyager's registration?
I am not going to get this. I'm not going to get
Is
that.
it NCC 13130?
No.
NCC 17891, NCC 1701, or NCC 74656? Would you like to ask the audience?
It's either B or D. Would
you like to phone a friend?
I would like to phone a friend. Can I phone a friend? I'd like to phone a friend,
Yes, we can
please.
phone a friend. Yes, we can. Yeah, you have 2 choices on the line. You have selected before the telecast, Tarpitude or Everywhere It Matters. Who would you like us to phone?
Tarpy. Tarpy.
All right, let's get Tarpitude on the line. Tarpitude, go ahead.
Hope she knows.
She's gonna know.
Tarpitude.
What was what was Voyager's registry number? I'm trying to win $1 million.
Read me the options.
1330, 17891, 1701, or 74656. You have 10 seconds.
Oh, God.
Come on, Tarpy, you were my phone a friend.
Call your other friend. Call your other friend.
The fourth one.
All right.
The 7 seconds.
Oh, and she is she's out of time. She's
Okay.
out of time. The call has ended. DJs, are you going to go with her advice, or are you going to go on your own?
No, I it's either B or D. She said D. If there's anything Tarpy knows about, it's about D. I'm going to go with D.
Is that your
Wow.
is that your final answer?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with D's final answer.
That is correct. NCC 74656.
See? I told you Tarpy knows her D. All right.
Tarpy liked the D, and
She
she
got
was indeed correct.
Oh, that's good. All right, so we're 9 for 9, and
I personally love the D.
Yeah. Thanks, Spock. Appreciate that. Yo, Rooster, thanks in for the raid. Appreciate that. You came in at a beautifully amazing time. I hope that you, yeah. She's dying. She's literally dying right now.
Breathe, Tarpy, breathe.
Am I gonna have to put an explicit? Am I gonna have to put an explicit tag on this episode? I think
You're the one who swore.
We broke her. We totally broke her.
we broke her. We broke Tarpy. All right. Question number 10. Question 10. Let's get this knocked out.
Question 10.
Oh boy.
For $1 million in control of the free world, you have reached the final question. Ultimate DJs, are you ready?
I am ready. Let's go.
What is 7 of 9's birth name?
Annika Hansen. All right, I win. Yay, I'm a winner. Yay, congratulations to me. Yes.
Man, you got all 10. I'm very impressed, DJz. Good job, man.
You know, yeah, the registry number would have gotten me. The registry number would have gotten me. That one would have tripped
you got
me up.
all 10 right, and you broke a panelist, so I think that was a great success.
That's good. Oh, that's fantastic.
And those are your answers in the game. If you've not yet played that portion of the game, there you go. There's your 10 answers. You can get like 40,000 plus, I think, Syndicate XP.
Okay, there you go. All right. Well, hope you guys enjoyed that nice little segment. That was fantastic. That was
something.
Beat for the God says those were way too easy for a Star Trek nerd like DJz. We need deeper cut questions. I mean, you know, that's fine. But in fairness, like that was relatively simple trivia. But I mean, hey, at least I proved it. I knew it.
More importantly, it proves that you know the series.
That's
Either
right.
you watch them or you don't, and clearly you have, so there you go.
Absolutely. There you go. All right. Oh, listen, I do want to say a couple of thank yous very quickly, and then I'm going to give you a piece of update, and you're going to be very sad about it. But and that's how we're going to end the show. All right.
Great.
Yeah.
End it on a downer.
Yeah, that's right. That's what we're going to do. We're going to end it on a down note. Man, there is still comments about this whole Tarpy D thing. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. Okay. You know, good question. There you go. There's a deeper cut. Savage Darkness says, only the Naomi question hung me up. I forgot she was the first child, but also couldn't remember her parentage. So, gosh, I don't...
Ensign Wildman.
Yes, but I'm pretty sure her father was
Dad
left
was
behind.
not on the ship.
Yeah, Dad was left behind in the Alpha Quadrant. What was Ensign Wildman's first name? What was her mom's first name? No, her parents did not die. Her mom was around. She was pregnant when Voyager got lost. Dad was not there.
I think it's Samantha.
Samantha.
Wasn't it Samantha
That's
Wildman?
it. Samantha Wildman. That's it. You got it. Good job. Samantha Wildman. And the dad was Qatarian, but he didn't make it. He didn't make it on the ship.
He did not make
Yeah,
it.
he was left in the Alpha Quadrant.
If I were to ask you a bonus question, I would ask you what Star Trek Voyager episode the 2-part smash hit, Year of Hell was based on.
What do you mean what year it was based on? What are you talking about?
What Star Trek Voyager episode was the 2-part smash hit Year of Hell based on?
What episode was Year of Hell based on?
Yes.
What Year of Hell?
You don't remember my 15-minute monologue of teaching that I did on Star Trek lore in the very last episode on Tuesday?
Okay. Well, no, see, it wasn't based on that episode. There was another episode
was based on it, and
the
I
Year of
proved
Hell.
it in a court of law.
No,
if
you
Trader
did
were here, she
not.
would agree with me.
You did not prove anything.
I did indeed. It is.
All right,
It is
yeah,
before and after. That was the correct answer. So you did not get that right. You lose.
Fair enough. Okay. Just moving right along. Let me say a couple of thank yous very quickly. You guys have been a phenomenal audience tonight. Thank you so very much. We've had a lot of support tonight, and I have not been counting any of your PP points. Let me remind you, we're running our current Partner Plus promotion. Griffin, essentially, for the next 3 months, Twitch has us under a microscope. And if we perform at certain levels, then they will continue my level of partnership with Twitch for another year. In order to do that, I need to score 300 PP points. Those are called Partner Plus points. They are reliant on Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3 subs. Unfortunately, gifts and primes do not count. Which is why we've introduced a secondary metric, which is just the regular normal subs like we normally do. We are on 2 different goals this month. We are trying to get to 300 Partner Plus points, or PP points, as we so affectionately refer to them, and a total of 600 subs on the channel for the entire month. As of the beginning of the show, we were well over halfway at 178 PP points and 137 prime and gifted subs for a total of 315. Coming into today's show, I would like to say thank you very much to Peace or Assimilation for your tier 1 sub. Papa Smurf and Zandy's the Great came in today with Kitty Bitties. I appreciate that. Roger Workman came in with the 30-month or the 30-month Prime sub. Thank you so very, very much. Rubik's. I've been waiting to count my PP points for days. Rubik's coming in with the 21-month tier 1 resub. Hercules, 24 months. JYTDSY. Yeah, I think I got that perfectly. A brand new tier 1 sub. Brand new, never been subbed before. Thank you very, very much. I'm just going to call you JY. Thank you for that. Plugster with the 12-month tier 1 sub. Captain Bull with the 29-month Prime sub. Thank you very much. And Dominus Prime with the 33-month tier 2 sub. That's worth 2 PP points.
Double your points, double your fun, but don't double
fantastic.
your PP.
Thank you. Taking a look, let's see. Dr. Iron Chef, tier 1, 33 months. Appreciate that. Indy Hoosier with the 27 months. 27 months with the best cat on Twitch. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Indy Hoosier. Texas Guy, 74, says, here you go, DJ. Here is one. A tier 1, 20-month resub. Appreciate that. Alan says, Griffin, you're awesome. Alan, thank you for your 30-month resub. I appreciate that. No,
Me?
He was actually talking to me. I just thought I was going to, involve you and make you feel better about yourself. Dallas Spartan 718 dropping 5 gifted into the chat. 5 gifted. Thank you. Appreciate that. Radio Dad with the tier 1 26-month resub, and Strange Tamer, thank you for the new follow. Welcome into the litter box. Appreciate you very much for being here. Thank you so very, very much. Carissa says the whole PP thing is such bull. Amazon doesn't need to reduce creator shares just because they can't get X amount of subs. While I tend to fundamentally agree with you, Carissa, sadly, that's how it works.
Yeah.
So I got to play ball. I got to get my PP points. All right, got to get my PP points. Thank you so very much. I really do appreciate it. Griffin turning around and dropping another 20. Thank you, my friend.
There you go, pal.
Thank you, buddy. Let's see. All right, let's count them up.
Those are your winnings for hitting the trivia up.
9, 10,
well done.
11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Got it. Okay, so that puts us at 188 PP points. And clearly I have done my math along the way incorrectly somewhere, because 188 plus 166 minus 600 does not equal 247. But we'll... It's sad that they don't count all the subs. That is true, which, by the way, is exactly why we have added the secondary goal, because obviously, if you guys remember, all right, we're giving away $500 at the end of this month to anybody who has gifted, primed, or tier 1, 2, or 3. That's why we're doing. So while Amazon might not be counting in the primes and the gifted subs, we are. Okay?
Of course
we are. Thank you very much, 246 engineer. I must have buttoned. We are indeed counting those, which is why we've added the secondary goal. So if you guys will hop in and get registered by subbing to the channel, even with your Prime, you are still eligible to win your share of the $500 that we're going to be giving away at the end of this month. The Twitch meta box says I'm at 202. Well, then I've missed something somewhere. I'll check it. I did not. You know what? That's probably fair. I did not check it before today's stream. So I probably need to do that. 15 minutes till daily reset. Thank you, Spectre. Appreciate that.
Zephog with the sub.
With the Prime sub. Thank you very much. Also, Lost In coming in with 5 gifted as well. Thank you. Appreciate that. Maxenheimer says, daggone, let me get my wallet. Well, let's go. You can get registered.
And it'll only set you back $6.
I mean, that's true. And you don't have to watch ads. Yeah, I mean, that's great, right?
You can't even buy a Big Mac by itself anymore for $6.
Like
and look at all the Star Trek content you consume tonight about this wonderful game.
Wonder if I'm being rated right now. I don't think so. Thank you, Rubik's.
Was that Tarpy?
No. Wait, what? Hold on. Why is that even on? That one's not supposed to be on. How did you do that?
That's why I'm asking.
Someone's got magic.
How did you do that? Because oh, they are still on. I thought I turned off sound alerts. Well, you got me with that one. You got me with that one.
People just respected the no sound alerts during podcasts for the entire 3 hours.
Yes,
that can't be the case.
Wow,
I did not know that was not that was not even on. Yeah, very good, nice. Chatter says I can give you a YouTube like and follow. That would be wonderful. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. As a matter of fact, we are doing very, very well. You know, since we, Wham, I can't say thank you enough, by the way. Thank you, Jules.
You're the best. Give me hugs and kisses.
I love your hugs and kisses, too. And look at that. Somebody said thank you. As a first-time chatter, who is this? Thanks for the gifted sub, Risha Militia? I hope I'm saying your name. Risha Militia. Thanks for the first time chat. And
wow, first time chat, Risha. No way. Thank you for being here. That's cool.
Appreciate that. I want to say thanks to Wham, who had been working on convincing me to multi-stream on YouTube for a couple of months. I finally gave in, but just to give you guys a little bit of idea about what's going on right now. We've got, of course, the Discord audience has shrunk as a result. We've got 21 in our Discord studio audience. We have 71 currently on our YouTube live stream,
awesome.
which is great, and 330 live on our Twitch stream, which puts us at one of the top 5 audience sizes of all time at 420. Nice job, guys. Nice job.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for being here so late at night and hanging out with us and talking Trek.
I really do appreciate you guys. So you guys are great. Thank you for watching on the multitask or on the multi-stream. Thank you for watching on YouTube. Thank you for listening on podcast. You know, this is on top of the fact that the podcast consistently still gets around a couple of thousand downloads. As a matter of fact, Podbean sent me a note the other day. You guys want to see this real quick? Let me see if I can actually pull this up. Podbean sent a note. We hit 2 major milestones in 2024.
We did.
Yes. Congratulations on 1.2 million all-time downloads of the podcast. And just thank you. And just a week or two ago, we just celebrated our publishing of our 500th episode.
How about that, y'all?
500th episode of Talking Trek has been on with 1.2 million downloads on the show. And I can tell you, each show looking at, it looks like each show over the last several months, in the first 7 days of launch, they're averaging right at 1,000. And within 30 days of launch, they're averaging between 2,000 and 2,500 downloads. That's just on the audio-only podcast. So that's a lot. You guys are great. I really, really do appreciate all of you guys. Thank you so very much.
Just imagine going back to your first 5 podcasts, which I listened to recently. Can you imagine sitting there going, one day I'm going to have 1.25 million people listen to this stuff?
It's wild, isn't it? I never would have thought about it. It's just wild. Thank you guys. It's truly kind of amazing and weird all at the same time. I really do appreciate it. Layden's Gaming, thank you for your Prime sub. Appreciate that. You know what? And that's another thing. Prime subs, why shouldn't they count, Griffin? That's why we're counting them, by the way. But Prime subs are special. You get 1. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get 1. And you're going to give it to thank you, Layden. That's special to me. You could have spent that Prime sub anywhere on the internet. You spent it here. Thank you so much, man. That really, truly means a lot to me. Benny Hill, thank you for your bits. Maxenheimer dropping a gifted sub to Ice Wolf. Lost In dropping another 10 gifted. Big time. Thank you so very much. And look at that. We're in a level 7 hype train. I was getting ready to end the show, and I look over, and we just hit level 7. We got 4 minutes left in a level 7 hype train. Kellum, thank you for your 4-month resub. Tier 1. That's a PP point. What's up, PP Point? Iron Fister with dropping 5 gifted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Fister.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thank you guys. You guys are getting crazy with
What's
the
the
numbers.
bourbon of the
tonight.
night, Fister?
Yeah, what are we having tonight, Fisty? What's going on? How you doing, Mike? Am I ever going to do another 23-hour and 58-minute stream again? Yeah, eventually. Eventually. Let me remind you guys also very quickly as we get ready to end. I want to invite you guys all and remind everybody about what is happening tomorrow night on this channel. Tarpy, we have some big stuff planned. As a matter of fact, there could be a couple of giveaways tomorrow. I haven't decided for sure yet on what we're going to have to do. But thank you, Ransusi. Appreciate that. 27 months, tier 1 sub. Thank you so very much. That's awesome. Thank you. Tomorrow night.
Ransusi's awesome.
Tomorrow night, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So we're literally just right at a little over 21 hours away. We will be live on the twitch.tv homepage. That's
How can that be possible?
Isn't that wild? Tarpy, that's right, Jace. It's also my birthday. My real native birthday is tomorrow. So that's going to be fun, and I'm excited to be on the Twitch homepage. I hope that I actually get to be on the front carousel, because I didn't realize this when they sent it to me. Did you know that there were actually 8 in the carousel? There's actually 8 on the front
did not.
page. I didn't know that either. So I've been looking. I've been studying it for the last several days, watching and seeing. There's 8 on the list, and it looks like if you don't get to actually be on the front page, like, it doesn't really do a whole lot for your channel. If you don't show up in carousel spot number 1, because I've been scrolling through them, right? Like, so when you first go to twitch.tv and you look, like, whoever's front and center, that's the big one, right? They've got thousands of viewers. But then if I look through the rest of the carousel, they're still at, like, 100 or 150, and I'm like, oh man, that doesn't look like they're getting a big jump there. So hopefully we can get a nice jump tomorrow. We can introduce ourselves to some new folks. It'll be a lot of fun. But that starts at 8 a.m. tomorrow.
8 a.m.
Oh, sorry,
What?
8 p.m. I have to work. 8 p.m. 8 p.m. 8 p.m. tomorrow. We start our show, and Tarpy has quite an evening plan. Tarpy, do you want to give an idea or two very quickly before we get ready to go? And as a reminder, very quickly, we still got 30 seconds left on this hype train. If you guys want to extend it, we can't leave in the middle of a hype train, so we'd have to stay. Just saying. Tarpy, what do we got going on?
There's definitely no bingo planned. Nothing. Nothing like that.
All right.
Am I not supposed to be on this show? Do I have the day off?
No, of course you're going to be on the show.
No, part of it too is we're gonna make Griffin and DJs actually compete for a while there.
Oh,
so that's gonna be fun.
Compete about what? What are we competing?
Oh, wait, do I have to tell you, or is there a surprise?
Anubis, thank you. What did you do?
What is that?
Anubis. Thank you. Anubis contributed towards my Disco Prime over on Throne. Thank you.
Aww.
How nice. And guys, thank you. That completes our hype train. We made it halfway through level 7. You guys are awesome. You're rock stars. Thank you. No, I'm not doing another banana eating contest. I'm trying to watch my girlish figure. By the way,
bananas don't make you fat.
Well, I mean, I don't want to eat a bunch. I want to eat a bunch of them. Anyway, I actually do have a story that I'll tell tomorrow. I'll tell tomorrow because we're out of time tonight. Tarpy, so you've got contests. You've got bingo. For those of you who haven't been following here lately, apparently Tarpy and Dastros have been planning secret bingo cards.
It's mostly Dastros.
Mostly Dastros.
Usually at my expense.
Well, apparently they've got one for me tomorrow.
It's to the point where I'm afraid to even give pergola updates anymore, even though I do have a big one. My final inspection is finally coming up next Tuesday, but I don't want to talk about it because then that might ruin somebody's bingo.
Bingo! Yeah.
What if it made their bingo, Griffin?
Yeah.
Like, that could make the whole thing for them.
So,
okay, that's fair.
Yeah, it's, I mean, it's not necessarily a secret. It's just like, we don't know what's on the bingo cards. Dastros has been making them for the shows, and he doesn't tell us about them until he hits a bingo. and then we show off the
Yeah.
card, and so we don't know anything about it.
Oh, see, Lawson just got a bingo. Congratulations.
How do you
Well
guys?
done.
How do you guys even know that you hit a bingo? Is Daystros distributing these cards without us knowing?
Apparently, it's a side hustle. It's like $5 a card.
No, what are you talking about?
Where's my cut?
Yeah.
Good God.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I definitely have never seen them before.
So
anyone can PM me. The cards are $5 a piece.
oh my God.
Matters.
So,
See?
yeah, I hear that. I hear that. So we've
Oh,
got
look, it's exclamation mark bingo in the chat if you want to participate.
So we've got some Talking Trek bingo that we're going to be playing tomorrow night, apparently. And as I understand it, Tarpy, you did allow for time tomorrow, community. I make good on at least one of my Christmas Angel Fund promises. You guys get to control my account for 1 hour tomorrow night live for the world to see on the twitch.tv homepage. You guys, for 60 minutes, will be in control of UltimatDJz STFC account. We'll talk about the ground rules tomorrow, but you guys are in charge. So you guys will have an opportunity to make me do some wacky, crazy stuff, spend this, do that, hunt War Dod, mine this, mine green data, open my base for War Dod, whatever it is. All right, whatever it is that you
I really
guys
wish
are
that
up
that
to.
person who came up with the idea of deleting your account didn't share that until tomorrow.
I will point out I have veto power. Okay, that is
Can
my
you tell us the
ultimate.
rules?
Yeah, here's the number one rule. I have veto power. Okay. That
Oh.
being said, I am not going to veto anything as long as it's fun and within reason. If it I'm not
We
gonna.
can't spend all your latinum on Parsteel and then drop your shield.
Sure we can.
Oh,
Sure we can.
burn.
Like all your latinum?
Yes, every last million.
All right, cool.
By the way, DJs, you should
If-
check your redeems.
What about my redeems?
I was just,
Someone did small voice.
It was communicated to me that you should check them.
I don't
If
want to
DJs does not get vaulted on his birthday, is it really his birthday?
Broken Wolf, thank you for the Hydrate Lightning Hawk. Daystros says, would people like 3 or more bingo board options for tomorrow's stream?
Oh, wow.
Wham asked
Apparently
for,
there's a
Yeah, let's see
special.
if we can pull off a 5x5.
wait, a 5x5? Or you just want more than like 5 cards? What are you asking? You want a 5x5 bingo card? That'd be a tough one.
How much is a 5-pack going for?
What are the prizes here?
25 bucks.
Less than a 6-pack.
Wow.
Chris, thanks for the Hydrate, Shadowed Fox, and Jongo. And Shadowed Fox, again, thank you for the Hydrates. Balabom has asked me to change my name in game, which I will do for tomorrow's. Actually, I guess I need to do it tonight. Let me just pop this thing up here and change my name to UltimatDJz.
Oh, I see what happened there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot of D's there.
Yeah, well, you would know.
Oh!
Wow.
Wow.
Oh,
Where's
that's
the
good.
Dumb Ways to Die song? Because I'm running your birthday party tomorrow. Are you sure you want to antagonize me today?
Yeah, Tarpy's in charge of the birthday party. So we've got some stuff going on tomorrow. That'll be good. And Wham has asked for a random thought, which I actually thought about. Okay, this one was very recent. This is just a day or two ago. We have a system where we organize all the work orders that I've got in my shop, and it's organized by last name. I've got a mailbox, like the old school mailboxes, right? Where one mailbox is good for one letter of the alphabet and all this stuff. And I was thinking, hey, who was that? Somebody just bought me a hat? I can't read that. Who was that? Who did it? Wham! Thanks for buying me a hat. What is that? Is that a Talking Trek hat? Did you just buy me a Talking Trek bucket hat? Well, that's awesome.
It says it goes go all out, go Taylor's boyfriend bucket hat.
You just
What?
you bought me a Taylor Swift bucket hat?
That's wonderful.
Thank
Taylor's
you. I
boyfriend.
love Taylor Swift. That's great.
No, this is for Kelsey, Taylor's boyfriend. Go all out, go Taylor's boyfriend. You like the Chiefs?
No.
Are you defecting from the pack?
No. You bought me a Travis Kelce hat?
Sure did.
Thanks.
Guess you're gonna have to wear that on stream.
I won't be here tomorrow, but I will wear it. I will wear it on stream. That'd be fine. All right, there you go. I did in fact change my game name. There you go, UltimatDJz. So that's there. Fortunately, we're going to be able to change that again tomorrow. So that one's not going to last very long.
What?
Well, I mean, it's gonna change again tomorrow on the next show. So we'll do that. But and then Wham asked. So anyway, about the mailboxes.
Man.
Did you just get that?
Tarpy, are you disappointed that the D's not going to last very long? Is that what's happening?
How long did it take you guys to understand that joke?
God, see, this is what I'm talking about. I don't do this. Tarpy does this. She's filthy. She is a little minx.
Filthy.
She's filthy. This is not my fault. Okay, she does all the
I thought she was sweet.
Yeah,
Filthy
this is not
Tarpy.
me. I don't do this. This is
Are
all
you
Tarpy.
sure?
Remember when you asked
Are you
her
sure?
to come up to babysit us? That was a mistake.
God bless. It's Tarpy After
a
Dark,
mistake. 23
hours and 48 minutes a day. I know. It's crazy. Anyway.
Wow.
That's a big one right
It
there.
lasts
That's
longer than
impressively
you.
large.
It is impressively large. So anyway, I had all these mailboxes and I was thinking, and then just the weirdest thought, right? Just the weirdest thing. Like, if you actually think about it, there's no real reason that the alphabet has to be in the order that it's in. I mean, seriously, just think about it. We don't even have to talk about it. Don't even talk about it. Don't even think about it. Just think about it. Why is the alphabet in the order that it's in? Doesn't have to be. Just saying. And that's going to do our show. That's going to do it. Wait, what is that? Somebody bought me Johnny 5? Wham bought me 370 pieces of the Johnny 5 robot building set. Thank you, Wham.
right.
Yay! Come on, Abe. Why do you got to do that? What's the downer comment? He says. I forgot about it. See, I forgot about the downer comment.
Oh, you did promise ending on a low note.
All right.
Gotta keep the promise, I guess.
All right, I'm gonna keep my promise on the Revenant Refinery. Remember how I said I was absolutely convinced that it was an error, and even the tooltip said that they were supposed to be lower, and I was going to fight for the tooltips to be made accurate, and they were going to fix the refinery for the Revenant, so you didn't actually get penalized when you promoted it to Mark II and all that stuff. Yeah, that ain't happening.
As intended.
That ain't happening. As a matter of fact, I got slapped with the
I think I fool bought this.
tooltips were actually the items in error, not the refinery. Yeah.
I thought that was coming.
Yeah, the tooltip was incorrect, not the refinery. But my argument was it doesn't make sense. Like the tooltip amounts should have been right. Like
For what now?
for the Revenant Refinery, once you go to Mark II, Jules.
What about it?
Jules did an analysis. You actually get paid significantly less. You remember how we said that they learned from the Stella loop, and they weren't going to make it punishing as you tier it up. Like Stella, the higher you tiered it, the worse it got as far as rewards. And we had learned from Stella with the Revenant, and we weren't going to make the same mistakes. Well, we fell into one.
Easy solution. Just go straight to tier 4. Done.
Well, that's what I said. I said, listen, then from a reward standpoint, the best thing to do is to stay at Mark 1, tier 5, and never go further. I said,
That's not what I said.
That's the mathematical answer to it. I mean, to maximize your rewards, Griffin, you would stop at Mark 1, tier 5. Because as soon as you go to Mark 2, tier 5, you start getting paid less immediately.
What happens when you go to Mark 4 tier 15?
Always less. Always less.
Well, I can guarantee I'm getting more rewards now than I was at tier 1 Mark 5.
Are you able to double or triple pull the polygon
You
chest?
can't maintain the polygon chest, my brother. Can't do it.
Yes, I can. I'm doing it. I'm doing regularly and often. I'm soloing those polygons.
The groups?
Yeah.
You're
Are you
solo.
buying directives?
No, I haven't bought a single directive.
Well, that's even worse. So the group armada is not even meant to be a group. Is that what you're saying?
Well,
Are you saying that the only way to feed the refinery is to eliminate the rest of your team and
Well,
just
yeah,
And solo the group.
solo the groups?
That's lovely.
solo the group.
Well, there
The
you go.
key is to launch the armada when the chat is busy talking about superfluous things, so they don't see that you launched it, and then just immediately
Thank you,
fast track it.
Thank you, Wham. He just finished buying my hat and my Johnny 5 robot. Thank you, dude.
Aw.
There you
I
go.
appreciate that, man. Thank you so much.
Johnny 5 is alive, thanks to Wham.
Need input. So, yeah. Well, there you go. That's
What's the funny thing that
unfortunate.
Johnny 5 would scream?
Johnny 5 is alive.
No, it was like when he thought
No,
that there was
disassemble.
a hostile or something.
No, disassemble. There was a lot
No
of things.
disassemble.
Yeah.
Yes, that was it. That's what I say.
Yeah, there was a lot of things there. All right.
That was a great movie.
Yeah, well, there you go. How has Griffin not been booted from his alliance? I don't know.
Oh, Cruzito, you just had to stick one more knife in at the end of the show. You're being quiet all night. And here you go.
I got a message from him the other day. This is great. I almost feel like he's becoming your Wham, dude. Like,
He is single-handedly trying to get me fired from the show, kicked out of my house, fired from my job, and
he's your
I
war dog,
suspect
man. He's your war dog. He says,
I give you water.
he sends me a message. We were having a conversation. He said, also, is it just me or am I living rent free in Griffin's head? I said, totally are. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely you are. All right, listen, we've had a great time. Your mother was a snowblower. Oh, I love it, Candy White. Good stuff. All right, there we go. All right, now we're done. Thank you guys so very much for hanging out tonight. Laser Lips. Oh, my God, I forgot about that one. Wait, Tinsy. That was a good one. Hey, Laser Lips. Your mama was a snowblower. Oh, that's good stuff, man. Good stuff. We should do a movie night. You guys want to do a movie night?
Yeah.
One night next week. We'll watch Short Circuit. That'd be great. I'll see if I can find it. It's got to be around here somewhere. It's got to be on the interweb somewhere. All right, guys. Thank you so very much. My name is UltimatDJz. I appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. Be sure to go visit us on our website, Talking Trek STFC.com, TalkingTrekSTFC.com, where you can go and you can find a link to all of our channels, our YouTube. As a matter of fact, Griffin, we got, I think we've got a short coming up soon, don't we? We've got a short coming.
We do indeed.
We got a short coming. That way you can watch on the YouTube. We've got merchandise store, our merch store. You guys be sure to go check out what's going on with the merch store. We got some fun stuff over there. And then what else? Oh, the Studio B Patreon we've got up there. Please, listen, if you guys can, I know I've asked a couple of different ways, but however you guys can support the show. If you find value in the entertainment, you find value in the teaching, you find value in the content, please consider contributing financially to the show. It would mean a great deal to me if you could do so, whether that's here on Twitch, on YouTube, whether it's in the Patreon, however you decide to do it. We ask that you consider doing that. Thank you so very, very much. As a matter of fact, I would like to say thank you very quickly. I haven't updated this list for a minute, but I'm gonna read the whole thing. I'm going to read the entire thing. Everybody on the Patreon, whether it's $1, $5, $10 or more. Lord Neelix, thank you, Lady Kess, Iron Chef, Virtual Army, Megrack, Regis, BK, Shady Pines, Lobot, Ripper Loves to Mine, Tigora, Cruzito, Renegade, Ransusi, Hank, Ape, D-Jigger, MC101, Wayfarer, Louis P, Blue Plague, Pez Loco, Chris, Gopher, Grog, Edward, Archangel, Smoke Mohawk, Jetski, Papa Smurf, Jason, Patrick, Captain Jack Morris, Seaman, Venium, Scorpionus, Archer and Honey, Indominus, Casey Jones, Canine Tooth, Galen Dritz, Sub-Commander, Sir Tail, A-Fox, Judge Kren, G-Force, Bamenkas, Captain Q, Game Jr., Vegas, Admiral Inwater, Cha-Cha War, Scarlet Hawk, DJ's got rated again, Jaga, John Adams, but not that John Adams, Never Full Tilly, Blue Mandalorian, Noxus Exhibitor, Fermax, Dr. Link, James Clueless, 170x7, Welch Gunner, Captain Andrew Stevens, Unimatrix, Gornography Addict, The Web, Ballabomb, Kingo101, Medic213, J-Babes, Dark Knight, Pixelate, Scribbler, Buddy, Luke, Spectre, Captain Yam, Yukai, Nico, Diva, Dorsal, McLovin, Griffin, Bearbutt, Mean Bean, Thomas, Everywhere It Matters, Shannara, Illuminati, Captain Jack, and Delisha, Engineer, Jedzia, DJ's Better Refine, More ESO, Transparental, Sweet and Psycho, Lieutenant Tom Collins, Radio Dad, Check Game Jr., Iron Fister, and Jongo. Thank you guys so very much for your support of Talking Trek, a registered trademark and recorded in front of a live studio audience for distribution across podcast platforms everywhere. I am your friendly neighborhood cat person, Ultimate DJ, saying meow for now. Love you, minute. We'll catch you on the next one. You guys have a wonderful night, and we'll see you tomorrow night for the big old party. Don't miss it. Meow, meow. And now that I, did all that fun stuff, it apparently looks like I forgot to actually raid out. So who do you want to raid?
Class.
I forgot. Oh my God, who are we raiding? Moshcraft is on. Let's see who's on.
Your girlfriend Bafty is on.
My girlfriend
That you apparently make TikToks for now.
Apparently, DJ says,
wait, what?
Flowers
Who do I
lots of
make
people.
TikToks for? I don't do TikTok. What are you talking about?
Well, Bafty posted a nice little TikTok today, and she said, "Thank you, DJ, for the edit."
No, that's the other DJ. She calls me.
Oh, that's not you?
No, that's the other DJ. That's Metonymy DJ.
Oh, you should have took credit for it.
No, I'm DJs. She calls me DJs.
No.
Yeah, that's that's DJ. I'm DJs. Yeah.
Interesting how you know the ins and outs of our audience.
Well, I mean, she was my most watched stream of 2024.
Indeed. Whew, boy. Top 5% contributor.
I was not a top. I probably was. I mean, maybe. I don't know. That was when things were graded good. Okay, let's see. Who do we have online? Scribbler is on. Moshcraft is on.
Ooh.
Cree is on. Ben Sai is on. We've got all kinds of STFC streamers tonight. Pika is on. Bafty is on. Nolan is on. Wow, everybody's streaming on a Thursday night. So you guys get your pick. All right. TikTok.
They're getting their stream out of the way because they know it's your birthday tomorrow.
They know it's the birthday tomorrow, so that's happening.
Yeah.
Also, everybody's trying to scramble to get their content established because TikTok's apparently going away. See, TikTok's going away.
TikTok's not going away. Trump's going to save it. Don't worry.
What? Nah.
Yeah. In fact, I think Elon's going to buy it.
No.
Yep. Elon's going to buy it.
You're full of crap.
Because that'll make it better.
I'm telling you right now, Trump is going to get that judgment stayed
all right,
until after his inauguration, and Elon's going to buy it.
Here's the bad thing. Okay, we're still streaming. Like, this is still on the podcast episode. We got to get out of here. Can we just pick a raid target, please? Here, I'm going to do it. Raid.
Pick the first one.
You're going to have 60 seconds. Scribbler, Nolan, Cree, who else? Bafty, Scribbler,
Ben
Nolan,
Sai.
Cree, Ben Sai. Okay. All right. You have 60 seconds to vote starting now. All right. And then we're going to get on out of here. Okay. So there you go. We've got the vote is open. Bafty, Scribbler, Nolan, Cree, Ben Sai. I forgot to put Pike on there. Tag on it. But I've only got 5 options. You guys get to decide now. Looks like you guys are voting for Scribbler. I'm going to go ahead and press the button. Looks like she's going to win. Yeah, Scribbler. Scribbler. All right, clicking the button. Yeah, she's going to win. We got 30 seconds left. She's winning with 72% of the vote. 70% of the vote. 69% of the vote. She's slipping. 68, 67, 66. Oh, man. You got 15 seconds left. Who's going to end up winning this one? Okay, Scribbler's maintaining a lead, 65%, but the lead is slipping. Back to 66% with 5 seconds left. I think it's official. We're going to go ahead and hit the button, and we're going to go say hi to Miss Shauna Benson,
Scribbler.
winning the raid vote with 65% of the community's vote. Thank you guys very, very much. I appreciate all you guys. You guys are wonderful. You guys have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
And then, the way that here's how you know that something either
I forgot to press the quiet button. Okay, now we're leaving. Bye.